I'm back at it again, man. We got a lot to discuss. We're going to be talking about reports, all the things we have coming up with the New York Jets. Call in 515-602-9639. Salutes to all the Savages. Dakota, I see you. I hope everyone's having a great day. All right. I hope everyone's enjoyed themselves. Call in. The lines are open. We're going to have a discussion. It's going to be phenomenal. 515-602-9639. Give me 1 second, folks. Connect the audio. Hold on.
Blog Talk Radio.
What's going on, folks? It's your boy Long Beach Joe, and I am back at it again. I'm back at it again, man. Listen, we have a lot to discuss, okay? Here with the New York Jets, boy. Oh, boy. We're going to be talking about a report that dropped. It was a doozy. Another one from Zach Rosenblatt and Diana Rossini talking about the New York Jets pretty much being completely dysfunctional internally. We're going to be discussing Jermaine Johnson as well. Pro Bowler, for those of you that do not know. All right. We're also going to be talking about the Senior Bowl that's coming up. We're also going to mainly discuss the New York Jets offensive line, how it can be fixed. That's a position group we must address. And we might get into Jamal Adams. Goodness gracious. Some Jets fans begging for him to come back. I'll be discussing that tonight, okay? Call in 515-602-9639. Again, 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Listen, let me get into the show because I'm fired up, y'all, okay? Listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on the Long Beach Joe Show. I truly do. And I want to thank everybody that does give me feedback on Facebook, everybody that interacts with me on Facebook as well. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the Facebook gang. I respect it. Okay? Keep in mind, your boy is also on iTunes as well. You can get the podcast audio from iTunes. Going over to iTunes, type in The Long Beach Joe Show. The Long Beach Joe Show on iTunes, okay? Subscribe to the podcast on there. Leave me a 5-star rating. And give me some feedback, man. Let me know what you folks think about the show, how you feel about everything's going on. I want to thank everybody that does that, too. I appreciate y'all as well. Helps get the show out there. Helps get, people listening. I want to thank everybody that does listen as well. And if I don't say it enough, let me remind, okay, all of the listeners out there, my overseas people, man, listen, I'm always shocked to hear about people listening to me from overseas, whether you be in Australia or the UK, or I got people listening to me from all over the place, Africa, everywhere. Listen, I appreciate y'all, okay, and I want to thank you for listening, no matter where you're from, across the pond. It's always crazy to hear people so far away from me, talk and not only talk to me about the show, but talk to me about the team, and then talk to me about, what I'm doing here on my platform. I appreciate y'all. All right. So salutes and thanks to everybody that listens to me. Again, especially my overseas guys and girls as well. All my Jets brothers and sisters out there. So yeah, please go on over to iTunes and check that out. And I want to thank everybody that does that. I'm also on Twitter as well. Going over to Twitter, type in @The Long Beach Joe, @The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Okay. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. Let's go back and forth. And I'm also, for those of you that may not know, I'm also on YouTube as well. We put content up on YouTube. Okay. Just in case anybody's confused about that. come on over to YouTube, type in Long Beach Joe Jets, okay? Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know, all right? Also give the videos a thumbs up, okay? And share the video across your social media with your friends and your family, all right? But just know that when you come in here, you come check out the live chat, all right? I call my chat the Savages. You want to know why? Because they are savage. Savage. Listen, they go crazy. If they don't like what you bring to the table, they're going to let you know. Okay, trust. And nobody's safe. Don't think they play favorites around here. Nobody is safe. Not even me. Not even me. I'm the host of the show. It's the Long Beach Joe Show. I'm Long Beach Joe. I'm not even safe. Okay? So, please come on by. Salutes to all of the Savages in the chat, man. Mac, Captain K. Captain K says hi from Ireland, Joe. Salutes, Captain K. See? Overseas folks, man. Salutes. Salutes and respect. Thank you for watching. Salutes to Mac, Dakota, everybody in there. All right? So I want to show that appreciation to y'all. Thank y'all so much. And again, salutes and respect to all the Savages. Be careful. All right? So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Again, Savages, put your questions and your thoughts in the chat. I will come to y'all. Callers, hold on a second. We're going to get through these topics very quickly, and I'm going to come straight to y'all. The lines are hot. Rusty, I see you in the building. Salutes. We'll be coming to you. New callers, hold on, okay? Listen, we're going to start off with this report that came from Zach Rosenblatt, Diana Rossini. Man, oh, man. Here was another one, right? We had a report from them earlier this year about Zach Wilson. And here's another thing that they've laid across the desk of Jets fans, okay? Now, a lot of things that was in this report, though, to be completely honest, were things that we already heard. Things that were pretty much out there already, okay? But I'm gonna point out some of the things that stuck out to me that came from this report, all right? One of them, starting off, was Aaron Rodgers. They pretty much painted, in the article that Aaron Rodgers is like the true GM of the New York Jets. He's the true GM of the New York Jets, and Joe Douglas is just kind of like the assistant GM. Speaking of assistant GMs, Rex Hogan, according to reports, this had already been worked out in the past. Rex Hogan has parted ways with the New York Jets. And this report came out pretty much around the time that he, was gone, it was announced that he had parted ways. But according to, sources, according to a lot of the beat writers, mainly like Connor Hughes, that this was worked out. Him parting ways with the Jets had been worked out weeks ago. But it was officially announced the day that this came out as well, which made a lot of Jets fans suspicious. Maybe that Rex Hogan was made the fall guy. So I want to put that out there, okay? Now, getting back to Aaron Rodgers, it painted him as kind of like the actual general manager of the team. Basically, he would tell Joe Douglas, jump, and Joe Douglas would ask him how high. That he was going to bring in, a lot of his own guys, which there were some guys that were brought in that were former Packers, but you also got to keep in mind that offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, right, also had to sign off on these guys, okay? So it was almost as if they painted that Aaron Rodgers came into the door and said, hey, this is what I want, go get it. And we heard this before already, though. We've heard that Aaron Rodgers gave him a list or whatever it was, when they were trying to acquire him in the offseason about guys that he wanted to bring to the football team, and it was kind of like a list of demands. Now, with that being said, Aaron Rodgers shut that down publicly. We all know that. He came out and said none of that was true. I did not give them a list. Of course, there's guys that, we discussed, and they said, hey, what are your thoughts about him bringing these guys in? And he gave them his honest and fair opinion. But it was never, hey, bring these guys in, or I'm not coming here, or I'm going to force fit these guys into the system, which they're not, right? And that to me kind of made it like, we've heard this before. The guys that they brought in, Alan Lazard being one, and he's the biggest name because he's trash, okay? I mean, Alan Lazard this year has been a complete nightmare, man. Whoa. I mean, wow. $44 million. The first year, he's awful. We benched him this year. He was playing so bad. He runs lazy routes. He drops footballs. This does not look like the Allen Lazard that I saw with the Packers. Maybe he's going to be better next year, but even when asked about Allen Lazard, Robert Saleh said publicly on a podium he's got a year and a half left here. He's got about a year and a half left here. Okay, that spoke volumes. All right, but you got guys like Allen Lazard, Cobb, Randall Cobb, Billy Turner, another trash tackle, Tim Boyle, who was here as well. These are just a couple of the guys that were brought in that are former, Packers, or guys that are, have some connection to Aaron Rodgers or are familiar with Nathaniel Hackett. Now, I looked at it like this. We've seen this in the past. We've seen other coaches bring in guys. Rex Ryan was our former head coach here. He brought in guys like Bart Scott. He brought a safety, Jim Leonard, in here. He brought guys that have been familiar with his system to the New York Jets to help, the system get along, faster, help guys learn from different positions, and also bring in familiar faces that were familiar with what he was doing there to help things work along. And I think that was kind of the same thing here. I don't think the Jets did anything super crazy. Even Lazard being brought in, I know people want to go back and play revisionist history. Lazard, if you look at the free agency period, was one of the top wide receivers in free agency when we grabbed him. He was one of them, okay? And if we didn't sign him, somebody else would, okay? Now, to this point, he's been trash. It hasn't worked out so far. We'll see if he can reignite things this upcoming season. But here we are. So, again, we've heard that, and I wasn't surprised by that. Again, it's been kiboshed, though, publicly by Aaron Rodgers in the past. But there were things said about Nathaniel Hackett in this article as well that kind of, I wouldn't say threw me through a loop, but really opened up my eyes a little bit and kind of brought to the light some things that could be true about what's been going on here, especially offensively. Okay. Now, a lot of what was said about Hackett, again, is some of the things that we've seen. And I think this kind of lended credence to some of the things that we've seen as well and things that we've talked about. They started off by kind of saying that he placated to Aaron Rodgers and allowed him to kind of have his way with the play calling and all those things. And I wasn't shocked about that, okay? Even when in the article it kind of made it seem like he just allowed Aaron Rodgers to call his own plays and call his own shots with the plays and just do his thing. That's not surprising to me because Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett built this offensive system. Those are the two guys that put this thing together. like he literally is another coach on the field. And that was one of the things that we talked about when we brought Aaron Rodgers into the building. And especially when we knew that Hackett was going to be the offensive coordinator, was, hey, Aaron Rodgers is going to be another coach on the field because he literally built this system. He knows exactly what to check in, what to check out. You don't have to ask 1,000 different people. We don't have to rely as heavily on Nathaniel Hackett because he's got another beautiful offensive mind. Chris Johnson. We got another beautiful offensive mind, right? That is Aaron Rodgers on the field. So that to me wasn't surprising. I'm not shocked by that at all. Not shocked by it. I mean, Aaron Rodgers built a system with Nathaniel Hackett. It is what it is, right? But then, according to sources within this article that Rosenblatt and Rossini went through, they spoke to some coaches, and the sources that were coaches said that they'd never seen a team watch less tape in training camp, and other sources that were players reported to Rossini and Rosenblatt that Hackett lacks attention to detail. Now, that was kind of eye-opening, right? That was eye-opening to me. I'm like, wow. Because I remember something different, okay? If anyone can go back, C.J. Uzomah, early in the offseason, when Aaron Rodgers was out there with the guys and he was trying to show them the offense and getting everything going, and guys were running things, and if he didn't like how you ran the route, or if he didn't like how the offensive set was going, he would stop it, start over again. Those are things that we talked about, right? In camp and everything, as we were grinding and getting things rolling, as things were really getting in motion and we were working in towards the preseason. C.J. Uzomah got on a podium and talked about how he was sitting back and watching film off the field consistently with Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett. And how not only on the field were they getting coached on a level that really helped him get better and learn new things every day. He literally said that. I'm learning new things every day. And again, C.J. Uzomah is a veteran. This ain't his first time around the block. CJ Uzomah just didn't show up yesterday. No, he'd been in the league for a minute before he got to the Jets, right? And he talked about how he was learning new things every day. They were making sure that things were on point, that the attention to detail was there, and that they were working every single day to get better. And he was learning so many new things, new nooks and crannies about the offense. So when I heard that whole audio immediately played in my head. I said, that's different than what CJ Uzomah said, right? Now, the article went on to also speak about Nathaniel Hackett, that he didn't make adjustments when playing younger players, which led to a lot of penalties, right? We saw that. We saw that. Pre-snap penalties. You know, when they started playing like Jeremy Ruckert and Xavier Newman and all these guys, because there were so many things moving and shaking out there, there was a lot of pre-snap penalties. And the New York Jets led or were near the top of the league in penalties in the league. We all know that. It was awful. It was so bad this season. It was terrible. I mean, it was pre-snap penalty after pre-snap penalty, at false starts. We saw it all, okay? And that caused a lot of issues too. And again, we saw that. And that there was also a lack of adjustments offensively. We saw that as well. I mean, the report hit there, at least in my personal opinion. I believe that again, because we heard it from players, right? We heard about the frustration with the lack of adjustments. We heard it from Allen Lazard right after a loss. I believe it was to Miami. That was a tough loss. Allen Lazard looked into a camera with all the lights on in front of everybody and literally said that the New York Jets were out-schemed and out-efforted in the loss to Miami. Now, keep in mind, Allen Lazard is trash, but he said that publicly. After the season, Garrett Wilson stood in the closeout meeting, and I'll get to the callers and everybody in just a second. Hold on. I see y'all. Trust. I'm coming to y'all. Garrett Wilson stood on a podium after the closeout speaking to the media, and he literally said, even though everybody tells me that I had a great season, I feel like this is the worst season I've ever had in my career. He said, what happened this year should never happen again. Offense should not be this hard. I'm sitting on the sidelines watching other teams' offenses adjust, but for some reason we can't adjust. He talked about this. He talked about the lack of adjustments in the play calling. He talked about the offensive struggles. He looked like he was standing up there looking like somebody shot his dog. I'm telling you. Garrett Wilson looked like if he could get off the Jets that day and go somewhere else, that he would be gone immediately. That's the way he looked, and you can't blame him. And he had over 1,000 yards again this season. That's 2 years in a row. He also talked about, Garrett Wilson, he also talked about how he vented to the coaching staff. He didn't go in detail to what he said to the coaching staff, but he said that he sat down with the coaching staff and they allowed him to vent and he let him have it. And he went off and said what he had to say. So the lack of adjustments and all those things and struggles with the play calling, not surprised. Especially, again, you look at the struggles that Nathaniel Hackett seemingly had trying to adjust his play calling to Zach Wilson. That was awful, right? And again, he tried to run a lot of things that worked with Aaron Rodgers, but didn't work with some of the other players. So we know that. We know that, right? Now, another thing that they talked about in the article was Saleh. Now, this was a bit more eye-opening to me because these were things that we did not hear about Saleh, okay? Some of these things, okay? And one of the things that was in there is that once Aaron Rodgers went down, Saleh basically went on the woe is me path, you know? He basically looked like, hey, the season's over. I'm just trying to survive here. That's what it is. Right when Aaron Rodgers went down. It also said in the article that he researched the top coaches in the league and what their records looked like once they lost their starting or their top quarterback. And that he took that information to Woody Johnson to vie for him to keep his job. I was kind of thrown back by this. Now, this, I don't know, right? I don't really know. Of course, you could see the frustration in Robert Saleh's face, especially towards the end of the season. Things were just not good. But this Jets team, especially this Jets defense, didn't give up. As a matter of fact, this Jets defense was frustrated because the coaching staff, partly Robert Saleh, right? This defensive staff was telling them, hey, listen, if they don't score, they can't win. Anybody remember that? Sauce said that himself. They're telling us if they don't score, they can't win. So we have to handle business the way we have to handle business. Keep in mind, after the Jets lost Aaron Rodgers, we still beat the Bills on Monday night. We also played an extremely competitive game and should have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs. That was Zach Wilson was a starter on that. We beat Philadelphia. So the woe is me path and just basically throwing his hands up on the season, I don't know about that. Because this team, mainly this defense, still was out there fighting. Right? Even the rest of the season. Now, there was some bumpy roads. There were some games where it was tough, but you could tell they were gassed because they was on the field all game. But they were still out there competitive, and it didn't seem like Robert Saleh had given up or the defensive staff had given up on the season. That's not what it seemed like to me. But again, we'll be talking with you folks tonight. It was also said in the article that he blamed Zach Wilson, the offensive line, and the wide receivers for the Jets' offensive issues. I'm shocked. I mean, that's what it was, right? Our offensive line was trash. And we saw that impact, and we saw the struggles of Zach Wilson at time, especially running for his life. We saw the struggles of all our quarterbacks running for their lives, even the backups. Tim Boyle was awful. Trevor Siemian was awful. And the wide receiver core, I mean, you can't blame Garrett Wilson or even Xavier Gibson. He played well this year. Allen Lazard was awful, right? So that part was what it was. The article also went on to talk about Zach Wilson. Of course, we've heard this about Zach Wilson, about after being benched in Miami, that Saleh came to him and told him that he was going to trade him in the offseason. We don't know that to be factual, right? Supposedly that there was a conversation between Saleh and Zach Wilson once Saleh had changed his mind and wanted to start Zach Wilson again after Boyle was trash, right? And the report basically states, hey, that, Zach Wilson said, listen, I'm good. I don't want to play behind this offensive line. Don't want to get hurt. You're going to trade me anyway, whatever. And that Saleh spoke to Aaron Rodgers to try to have Aaron Rodgers coax Zach Wilson to come back and play and be the starter. And that Aaron Rodgers contacted Zach Wilson, and the discussion between Wilson and Aaron Rodgers wasn't very fruitful, and that the relationship between Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson soured because of that. That's what this article is stating. All right. Now, here's the deal. Everyone has denied that's been involved, that was supposedly involved in that. From Saleh to Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers. As a matter of fact, Aaron Rodgers went on Pat McAfee, and we talked about this, and publicly talked about how that the kid, and he was talking about Zach Wilson, he's been through a lot. He used another word, but he said he's been through a lot. And that whoever is leaking this nonsense to the media trying to crush this kid should be ashamed of themselves. And he also called out how leaks, or these supposed leaks from people within the Jets organization, need to be kiboshed. They need to be put, into the fire. And they need to be gone, because that you can't have that in your organization. Now, this part of the article is a little crazy. It's something we've never heard. According to this article, once Aaron Rodgers said that on Pat McAfee, Robert Saleh had a meeting with the staff, with the coaches, sat them down and basically said, hey, listen, whoever is going to the media and yapping, tell me who you are right now, and I won't do anything to you. I won't do anything to you, but you need to come and tell me who you are right now. And then when that wasn't gaining traction, he threatened to take their cell phones, and basically go through them to figure out who was the mole. Now, that part is something that we've never heard. Again, I'm not saying these things are true, and I'm not disrespecting Zach Rosenblatt or Rossini at all. I'm just saying that this is what the article was saying and reported. So these were some shocking things, man. Those are some things from a couple of tidbits from the article that I picked up, and it was shocking, man. It was shocking. Some of it, again, most of it is stuff that we've already heard or we saw, right? Some of the things is some of the stuff we saw, like the struggles offensively with Nathaniel Hackett and his lack of adjustments. Some of the things were things that, again, we've heard about, but there's a lot of things that we haven't, that aren't substantiated. They're not in concrete. There's nothing to stamp on them, right? There's a lot of questions. And again, even with that Zach Wilson situation, still a lot of questions surrounding that. Did it actually happen? Everybody denied it. So I'm going to be talking to you folks tonight about this. 515-602-9639. Call in. I'm taking all callers. We'll get to the lines in 1 second. Jermaine Johnson, I got to celebrate this, okay? We're coming out of the dark now. We're coming back to the light, baby. Jermaine Johnson is a Pro Bowler, ladies and gentlemen. Oh! Hey, yo, that boy Jermaine Johnson, that boy good. That boy good, okay? That boy good, all right? As everybody knows, I was watching the draft live here, and when we passed on Jermaine Johnson initially, I was hot. I was very, very mad at Joe Douglas, but he traded back up to get him. Salutes to Joe Douglas. It is what it is, man.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
You got to deal with it, okay? And he's been nothing but good since he's got on this football team. Has really improved, taken a step forward this season, you know, after his rookie year. 7.5 sacks this year. He was second on the New York Jets in sacks after Bryce Huff. And he's really put some things together. So he's going to a Pro Bowl as the replacement for Chargers edge rusher Khalil Mack, who's a great player, right? So it's good to see that. We also got the Super Bowl. We got that coming up, but the Senior Bowl is also around the corner as well. There's some players in the Senior Bowl I'm interested in. Taliese Fuaga from Oregon State. You're not going to hear me stop talking about that guy. I think he's phenomenal. And I would like to see him as a New York Jet, and I think he'll be there at 10. Of course, if guys like Joe Alt or Latham or any of those guys are there, yeah, I'd like to grab them too. Fasanu as well, the tackle from Penn, I'd like to see him too. But I just think that Fuaga is actually going to be the guy that's going to be there, and I would love to see him be a New York Jet. We'll be talking about that. Also, we're going to be talking about the New York Jets fixing this offensive line. It needs to be addressed ad nauseum here. And maybe later I'm going to be talking about Jamal Adams and how New York Jets fans are constantly simping for this guy. There are Jets fans literally begging for him to be back on this team and wearing a green and white jersey. Good Lord, man. This fan base, I'm telling you, this fan base has some simps on it. Some simps and some busters, and we're going to get into that. Also, there's been some coaching hires as well for those of you that may not know. All right, Jim Harbaugh is now the Chargers coach. Mike McDonald, is the Seahawks coach. Dave Canales is the Panthers coach. Raheem Morris lands with the Falcons. Raheem Morris, that's a good guy, man. That's a good coach. All right. Antonio Pierce, the Raiders. He's now officially, again, their head coach. Brian Callahan is the Titans head coach. Gerard Mayo, Patriots head coach. And Dan Quinn, recently hired by the Commanders. So that's those are good moves, man. There's still some guys available. Belichick. Still available. Old Belichick, man. Can't stand him. I respect him, but I can't stand him. Can't stand him. He's still available. All right. Eric Bieniemy as well, still available. Vrabel, still available. Joe Brady, still available. To this point, they're still available. All right. I know that there's a lot of people talking about firing Sulla since this report. We're going to be discussing all of this. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I'm taking all callers. Please give the stream a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Okay? Subscribe to the channel. All right? And when you do that, hit the notification bell. Okay? To all. Click all so you get all of my content when it comes out. Also, give the stream a thumbs up. Share it across your social media with your friends and your family. If you want to give to the platform, the super chat is there. Cash App is at the bottom of the screen. Anything you give to the platform is greatly appreciated, okay? Again, call in. When you do call in, new callers, I see new callers, please make sure you have a good connection. Make sure I'll be able to hear you. And again, this platform, there's no cursing on my show. Don't call into my show cursing or I'll get you out of here fast. I'm talking fast. Fashion, we got Adam Gase out of here. Woo! It wasn't fast enough, but it was fast when it happened. All right. We're getting to the lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. We're taking all callers again. Callers, be patient. We will get to everybody. Savages, put your questions, your thoughts in the chat. I will be coming to you in between calls, but again, I am one man. Now, we're going to get to these lines, man. We're going to go to Rusty. We're coming to Rusty, 216. I'll come to you next. Rusty, we got to come to you immediately, though, man. Whoa. Listen, for those of you that do not know, trust, okay? Rusty, he's a savage, man. Savage! Salutes, Rusty. Rusty, listen, it's been a little bit, right, since I've talked to you.
Yeah.
Rosenblatt, Rossini come out with a report, man. They're blasting the Jets, talking about how dysfunctional they are internally, according to this report. What are your thoughts about what you saw in this report or what you just heard me speak about in the report? And do you think that this could lead to Sulla being fired? Because you got a lot of Jets fans screaming that he should be gone.
I like Sulla. I don't like Rossini. She's got some things against, Rodgers. Rodgers probably didn't take the bait and called her ugly or something like that. I don't know. God only knows. But I with a grain of salt with that, because she's always trying to start problems. She's like how Connor Hughes was before he got, G-checked by Green Bean and everybody like that and us. So what she says, I really don't follow too clearly with it. But, hey, man, I'm glad that he took everybody's phones or threatened to do that if that was real, to try and find them all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm down with that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, I never liked that chick. She's always stirring the pot, always trying to, you're representing the Jets. Mm-hmm. And you don't see any other organization to where their beat reporters or their reporters try and bury their own team. It's usually trying to uplift them or they keep things to the side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, whether they're Giants fans or Fish fans or Patriot fans or just, get butthurt. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Now, here's the thing.
She's had it out for Rodgers.
Yeah, here's the thing. And look, I again, there's some things in that report that I don't think are true, but there's things that we saw with our own eyes, especially the lack of adjustments offensively and the offense struggling, right? And we heard, we could hear the
hack it without hack.
Yeah, we could hear about we heard it from players about the frustration with the offensive struggling in the way that they had. Now, my question for you is this: we know that a lot of this was caused, right, with Zach Wilson starting all these things. When you hear about what you hear from this report, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is enough to fix all of these issues when he comes back healthy next season? Because when you're looking and we're hearing about a guy like, and of course, these sources supposedly are coaches that were speaking to these beat writers. When you're hearing guys say he's never seen a team, watch less practice tape or watch less tape than the team that he saw he was here with the Jets, and that you hear about players talking about a lack of attention to detail by Nathaniel Hackett. Do you think that Rodgers is enough to fix these issues, especially if we're talking about competing for a Super Bowl next year?
Yes, Rodgers not in, L.A. tending to a freaking torn Achilles. Absolutely. Because the proof is in the pudding with Hackett. He's, like I said, you can't spell Hackett without spelling hack first. And that guy, especially what he said about Brees, what was it, week 10? He's like, oh, wow, he can catch out of the backfield. It's like, wow, man, you're a special kind of stupid, aren't you? He definitely ain't paid chips. He for real did. And it's really mind-boggling, mind trapped in a bottle. It's how are you an offensive coordinator? He lucked out with having Rodgers to where when Rodgers was around, all of a sudden you'd see people clicking, you'd see Rodgers on the side, yelling at him, dude, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Us as fans know more than Hackett does. And oh man, I wish that we had the enemy or something like that at OC. I can't believe that Hackett's still here and that dumb Clark idiot offensive line coach that
Keith Carter.
Both of them should get sandbagged and thrown out.
Keith, listen.
I can't stand either of them.
Yeah, listen, and I've talked to people constantly, and again, we have made some hires as well along our coaching staff as far as assistant coaches. Tony Dews is now the New York Jets running back coach. And we also brought in Sean Jefferson, a former Panthers wide receiver coach, to come here and be our wide receivers coach. Supposedly he's starting Monday. So I guess we'll hear about more.
I'm cool.
We'll hear about more changes, but
I mean,
yeah, it's but again, these are changes that we knew would come. But like you said as well, I don't think that I honestly don't think that we'll make any big significant changes, because I know that there's Jets fans screaming about firing Robert Saleh and fire. Listen, if anybody needs to get fired, and I've gone on record saying that, it should absolutely be Nathaniel Hackett, and honestly, Keith Carter should get fired too. Right? Both of those guys should be gone.
Mm-hmm.
But none of that is
1A.
Yeah, none of that is going to happen because of Aaron Rodgers. And we all know that. It's not going to happen, because if you fire either one of those guys and he has not checked off on it, he's going to be out of here. If you fire Robert Saleh and pretty much clear out this whole staff, you got Jets fans also screaming for the firing of Joe Douglas, right? If we fire those guys and clean those guys out of the staff, guess what? You can say goodbye to Aaron Rodgers and you can say goodbye to your Super Bowl hopes, because without him, there is no Super Bowl hopes. Oh, by the way, and I'm keeping it all the way real, because again, we know what's up. We tied ourselves to this guy in a way that I don't think a lot of Jets fans understand. We're in win now mode with him. That's what we are. If you're getting rid of him and you're getting rid of the staff,
Rams type of thing.
Exactly. You might as well have just taken that first and second rounder that you gave up to get the guy. Also, we're going to have to pay him. I think we still owe him $100 million over the next 2 years. You might as well have taken that and just burned that too. Wasted capital. Wasted capital. The second you clear out this staff and you turn this into a rebuilding project, an experiment, he's not here to be a bridge quarterback. He's here to stick it to the Green Bay Packers and win a Super Bowl. He's been talking about winning a Super Bowl left and right, and since he's gotten here. And we all know what time it is. Okay? So I understand.
Rodgers, not our field, though.
Yeah, and I get it. Listen,
that's another issue.
I understand what everybody is talking about, and I hear it, but I'm just here to tell you, I don't think it's not going to happen. No one's getting fired. No one's getting no one in big unless Jeff Ulbrich takes another a head coaching job somewhere. He's going to be our defensive coordinator. Saleh's going to be our head coach, and Nathaniel Hackett is going to be our offensive coordinator. Because what they're going to try to do is run it back this season and try to win a Super Bowl, because this is the closest that we've been since Rex in those 2 AFC championships back to back. It's the closest we've been.
Yeah.
And guess what?
I think we're better than those teams. And
I want to put it this way.
We got to get it together.
Yeah, and I want to say this as well. Guess what? If you clear out this staff and Aaron Rodgers walks out the way or walks out the door, you can get ready for other players to follow him as well. Because I cannot see Garrett Wilson especially re-signing here. He's not going to do it. He's not. He looked like up on the after the season ended, up there on that podium. If his rookie contract ended that day, good Lord.
Oh, he was walking.
Rusty.
Yeah.
He would be out of there that day.
It looked like that.
Yeah, he looked like he was ready to get in his
I've never seen him like that.
Man.
And I'm Ohio State.
Yeah.
I've never seen him like that before.
Man.
Listen. Even when he was basically, wide receiver 3 just behind, because, Ohio State was stacked. Stacked in that sense. Look who came out of there. It's insane what we had in the past, just 3 years in wide receivers, 4 years.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. And then Marvin's probably he should go number 1, but he's not.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be quarterbacks in a way, probably. But
so, listen, he's gone. You can say goodbye to ATV. You can say goodbye to Sauce Garner. You can say goodbye to all of those guys. They're not going to resign here. And then we'll really be up a creek.
Yeah.
So I think Jets fans need to wrap their hands around that. And I hear the arguments, and I'm here to listen. 515-602-9639. Call in. But I'm telling y'all that, bruh, we are in a different situation. And there's no way you're going to hire a coach that is going to come in here and be okay with you with you retaining an offensive staff that he's not cool with. Everybody's screaming about bringing in Vrabel. He's not going to sign off on Hackett being his offensive coordinator. We tried that before with a guy, that Panthers guy. I forgot his name just right now. He literally told us to shove it.
Wasn't it Jeffries?
No, it was a.
Well, Jeffries came back to us.
Yeah, no, Jeffries came back. The head coaching candidate that we had
Rivera?
that ended up in Carolina. I forgot his name, but he was from Temple. And
yeah.
yeah, he
Oh, shoot,
he
it's
literally
in my
told
brain,
us to
too.
shove it. That's how we ended up with Adam Gase. He told us to shove it because we tried to hire his defensive staff, and he told us no, that's not happening.
Yeah,
I'll
we got
get up
Mr.
out.
Miami Vice instead.
Yeah. so listen, Jets fans, I'm
Oh,
telling
God,
you,
wandering eyes.
we got to wake up, man. Firing Robert Saleh is not going to happen, and don't even talk to me about Belichick coming here. That man hates us, and we hate him. Let's be serious.
No way. He's
Let's be
trash
serious.
too.
Yeah.
He ain't nothing without Brady.
Bruh.
That's proof. Proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Even when he was with the Cleveland Steamers before he was, his prior head coach.
Yeah.
So,
So,
he
but
didn't do nothing with Cleveland.
But as we continue to have this discussion, Rusty, and we talk about this football team, man, I want to switch gears. What are your thoughts about Jermaine Johnson making the Pro Bowl, man?
I mean, I was skeptical when we drafted him just because of our Florida curse that we had.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real thing that we did have. And I'll tell you what, he showed me especially, and I love it. I'm proud of that kid, that young man, I should say. Like, he went through a lot, going through JUCO and then doing this thing, cutting his teeth, and then, hitting up Florida State, getting out of Florida State, coming here, dealing with the New York media, sitting back basically a year and just going animal savage this year. And it's just the beginning, too, because, good gosh, like, he's going to be something, man. And I think the same with Will McDonald, too. I think he's going to be something, too. Everyone keeps on hating on it, like, oh, why didn't we get this guy? Wasted draft pick. I don't think so. I think he's like a Sean Taylor, Jason Taylor type of guy, but just a meaner version of it.
Yeah.
But, he's a freak. But JJ, it's major kudos. And, him getting the Pro Bowl. He should have got the Pro Bowl before, it was just sort of, like a bailout from Khalil. So I think he got it the right way. I think they actually did the right thing giving it to him.
Yeah, I think they did. Let me tell you something.
Beyond earned.
Jermaine Johnson being a Pro Bowler and improving the way he does is going a long way. Because if you cannot get Bryce Huff re-signed, which we must get Bryce Huff re-signed.
That saddens me.
We must get Bryce Huff re-signed. I'm telling y'all right now, it is an emergency. It is an emergency. We must make sure that he gets re-signed, and trust me, he gonna get paid because he's grading out as one of the top pass rushers in the league. But if we can't get him re-signed,
what are they saying? 22 mil?
Oh, easy. Oh, easy, Rusty.
Yeah.
Easy. Let me tell you something.
Like that.
I look at him and I look at this guy. What is his name? Landry with the Titans. I feel like they're kind of comparable. Landry's making like $23 million next season, and it goes up like 23, 24.
22.5.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's going to. And a lot of Jets fans don't understand this. I'm telling you guys, in a passing league, you pay the guys that throw the ball, and you pay the guys that chase the guys that throw the ball. If you want to win a Super Bowl, it is through pass rush. Okay? And right now, again.
Dude, if you think about it, we'd have Huff, Will, and JJ.
Yep.
Those are killers, man, to where you can just switch them in at any time.
Yep.
And Will and JJ are still on rookie contracts. So how can you not pay him? And you already took care of Q.
Yep.
So, and then I think Mosley's probably going to take a pay cut. I hopefully he does, just to do something, and
Listen.
Oh, man, I really hope they don't drop the ball on that.
Let me tell you something. When you go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, which to me, in my personal opinion, the Super Bowl to this point runs through them, if you don't have three guys, sometimes more than three, to chase around Patrick Mahomes, good luck.
Swift, bro.
If you don't have three guys to chase around Patrick Mahomes,
you
can get ready because he's going to cast you aside like he does everybody else. So you have to have as much pass rush as possible. And Bryce Huff is a must.
And that's what JJ does too.
Yeah.
And same with Huff. Like they're Allen killers, Mahomes killers.
Yep.
And if we were on our right type of things, they're Lamar killers. Like, dude, there's we got some serious dudes.
Yeah.
And let some people with that god awful, what's his name, Whitehead or whatever, let him go at safety, drafted.
Really?
Safety. We got another. So
you think we should move on from Whitehead?
Yeah.
I don't. I think we should bring him back, depending on the price. But I would like to see Whitehead brought back. I think Whitehead and Adams back there.
Back for a nickel.
Is
like that's 5 cents. Definitely not Jamal Fail.
Russ, listen, I like Whitehead. I think we should keep him. Again, the price is going to be very, it's going to vary on the price. But, I mean, he led the Jets in interceptions. He had 4 this year. He was the guy. I think he had like 3. Remember he had like 3 against the Bills? Like, yeah, he should be kept. I think him and Adams back there, again, at the right price, I'd like to keep him. But when we're talking about guys that could be let go, right, moving on to this offensive line, you look at this situation, man, there's a lot of things, a lot of maneuvering we got to handle. Rusty, are you re-signing Mekhi Becton?
I like Mekhi. Everyone calls me crazy for it. I just think they switch him around too much. Honestly, like right tackle, left tackle, he gets inside his own head. He was doing good, then all of a sudden Rodgers is down. So now he's like, oh, man. I mean, if he goes, I guarantee you he's going to be really good on some other team. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I have it. He might not be an all-pro,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like he's way too talented, and you can't have that guy switch from right tackle to left tackle. His knee can't do it's in his head. He's a left tackle. He's not a right tackle.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
They just bounce him all over the place.
Let me ask you this then, Rusty. If you want to re-sign him as a left tackle, right? What's the max you're willing to give him?
Or left guard.
I don't know about left guard. I don't know if he can play that. But what is the max that you're willing to give him? Are you willing to give him a 2-year, 3-year contract? What per year?
I don't even know the number, but I know that I wouldn't want Balaga or whatever his name is coming in from Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we can get somebody, that's like a catch-22 in a way. I wish that we can just let Becton stick around and like fight forward in camp in that sense.
Well,
to where I really want us to draft Jordan Morgan, honestly, but I guess another can of worms. But,
yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm looking at it.
Mean,
I'm looking at it, and I'm saying if you're keeping Becton, I think 2-year deal, $8 million per, something like that. I think that's the max I would go. But if he starts talking about maybe a little higher, but if he starts talking about crazy money, and I like Mekhi Becton a lot, I think that the New York Jets are going to move on from him. I think that he was really good until he got that high ankle sprain, and then you saw the mobility go out the window, and he struggled down the stretch, and that's what really hurt him. Because before that, he was playing really well, really, really well. Now, before I let you go, Rusty, we were talking about things along the offensive line. We got the Senior Bowl coming up. My final question for you: what players are you keeping your eye on in the Senior Bowl, man? Is there 2 players, 3 players that you're looking at, offensive linemen, wide receivers? Who are you looking at saying, this is a guy we got to keep our eyes on. He could be or should be a New York Jet.
I'm looking at Jordan Morgan. I don't know. I've liked that kid for a while. He's a menace. He's mean. He's smart. I hope we trade out of 10 if that's possible. Stay within the first, but acquire some second rounds or third rounds or something. But I like Jordan Morgan. And
so you're hoping we trade down a team?
Wide receivers.
How far are you willing to go down?
Well, I hope,
How far are you willing to go down the board?
I don't know. I'd go up to 20 or something like that, or try and trade twice. Or with somebody with like 12, then trade that out. Go to 20, just stack and rack. But try and keep it in that 20 range, because there's a lot of offensive tackles, but it dulls down a lot. Like I don't know. I'm a Jordan Morgan fan. I like that kid.
Okay.
Kid was a monster in Arizona, and then also with Walker, the wide receiver from UNC.
Oh yes, that is
like
one
that
of my
kid
guys,
too.
Devontae Walker. Yes, boy, he's 6'2", and he is a burner.
Yeah, that kid.
He is a burner.
Yeah, and he's
good Lord.
Yeah, he's good, man.
Good
I also like Luke McCaffrey too from Rice, but I don't. He's not playing in the Senior Bowl. He might be played in the Shrine, but he's in the later rounds. But Walker, I like, and then same with Jordan Morgan. Those guys are, I don't know, there's something special about those two, to me anyway. Yeah. And I know a lot of the people, like, who's the kid from the Beavers from Oregon? Or is it Fuaga?
Oh, you talking Oregon State? Yeah, Tylisi Fuaga.
Yeah. I mean, he's good and stuff, but I don't know, man. I know you watch a lot of college football too, a lot, but I don't know. I've seen him get burned on certain types of things. And
let me tell you something.
I'm a Jordan Morgan fan.
No, listen. There's a
big kid though.
There's a couple guys. I'm telling you, Fuaga is really he's good. He's good. I mean, guys are gonna get beat here and there, but he's pretty good, and I think he's the most realistic option for the New York Jets at 10. He's the most realistic. I also want to put out
I think he'll be around till like 20.
I don't know about 20.
That kid from Penn State, I think they would get.
Oh, Fashanu, yeah, he might be there as well. He might be there as well. But I think Alt, Latham. I honestly
Joe
think
is gone.
Fasanu, I think it might be gone too. If I'm pronouncing the name right, like you said, the tackle
You think
from
so?
Penn, I think he's going to be gone. Especially if because there's so much talk about the Raiders trading up and all that. Like that's in the air as well, that they might move up to grab Caleb. So there's some things that can happen, but I think maybe 3 tackles end up going, maybe, and that's why I think Fuaga being there is going to be huge for the Jets, because I think he's going to come in here.
I think there's gonna.
And I can clean things up. But I'll give you the
No,
final
I'm
word.
with you. Yeah, no doubt. No. I was letting you finish, fam.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly think there's going to be like 6 offensive tackles going in the first round this year.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to grab them up, let me tell you. Listen, Rusty, I got to slide off.
Yeah,
I got
you
other
like
callers.
Hungry Hippo.
next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. It was good speaking with you.
Same here, fam. Salutes to you. Salutes to the fellow Savages. Let's go, Jets. We'll fix this mess.
Yeah, let's go, man. Listen, that was Rusty, man. Always a good time speaking with him. Monty will come to you in just a second. Yo, I wanna talk about Brendan Rice, man. All right, everyone knows. Fight on. I'm just saying, Brendan Rice, he's a good wide receiver. I wouldn't mind if he was a Jet. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind it. You know, same way I didn't mind the ATV's a Jet. You know, great player. Brendan Rice, 6'3". He can go up and get the football, moves. You know what I'm saying? And he's related to another great Rice. That's all I'm going to say. All right, Brendan Rice. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? Why not? Get another SC guy on this team so that we can be better, okay? Let me get to the Savages in just a second. Monty will be coming to you next. New callers, hold on. Orlando C salutes and respects Savage. He says, heads are going to roll this season if we don't get it done. I don't care what happens. I'm tired of this stuff. I hear you. I've already said, listen, if the New York Jets do not make, if they aren't significantly better than they were this season, there's going to be some issues. That's when I think you'll see Joe Douglas or Robert Saleh get fired, to be completely honest. But if the New York Jets are at least a game outside of the Super Bowl, or a game outside, of the playoffs. If they make the playoffs or they're a game outside of the playoffs, I think they'll stay and they'll run it back. As long as Aaron Rodgers wants to be here, he's going to be here and they're going to run it back. But if the New York Jets look like they did this season or worse, man, people are going to get fired next year for sure. Okay? GVH salutes to you as well. Savage, he says, Joe, if top tackles are gone by pick 10, not knowing the free agency results right now, of course, should we trade down? I wish JD didn't give up a second. He didn't need to, in my opinion. Salutes to you, GVH. I think it's tough, right? I just don't think that there's a possibility that there won't be a top tackle there, right? I think that Alt will probably go off the board first. I think we'll see Latham probably after him. I think Fasanu will probably be somewhere. So there might be 3 tackles gone. I think that Fuaga's there. I think we should grab him if he is there at 10. But if we do trade down, maybe 2 spots, something like that, I think Mims is there if we trade down, maybe 2 spots. I really like Mims from Georgia. He's a good tackle as well. But I don't think there's a way that we won't be able to get a guy to step in and be able to start off the bat from this draft sitting at 10. I don't think this is a necessary either, because I was talking to a lot of Jets fans where we need to trade up, and because like you said as well, we don't have the capital. We don't have a second round pick. We don't have that this year. But I will say this: if any draft it were to happen, right? If any draft where we were talking about the possibility of Joe Douglas, using capital or utilizing capital from future drafts to move up and get back and grab guys. If it was going to happen in any draft, it's going to happen in this one because of the pressure. Because they're going to have to rebuild the offensive line. As it stands right now, again, right? Keep in mind the New York Jets, I think they have like $16 million right now in cap space, with cutting some guys and moving up. Now that number could go up a little bit, but it's not going to go up like to 80 million or nothing like that, right? Keep in mind we still got to pay Huff, which is going to cost quite a bit. There's also other free agents as well, like Greg Zuerlein, Morstead. I've talked about Jordan White, guys we got to bring back. I think it's kind of impossible for the New York Jets to rebuild the offensive line via free agency. It's impossible. Me personally, that's my belief. Because, man, free agents, especially tackles, especially top offensive line guys, they get paid in this league. We know that. Look at some of these guys that have gone other places. They got in a bag in free agency. You're talking about tackles, in which we need, because at this point we need a left tackle and a right tackle. People want to get rid of Laken Tomlinson as well. That's a left guard. So we're going to have to utilize the draft. And we're going to have to see Joe Douglas as well hit and utilize some of these mid-round guys as well. We got a couple of fourth-round picks. He's going to have to get some guys that are going to have to stand up, especially if they're needed to step in as far as depth. So a lot of people aren't talking about either. Okay? Everyone's discussing all these guys. Listen, we talking about three positions: left tackle, right tackle, left guard. Monty, I'm coming to you next. Nobody's discussing ATV. As much as I love him, he hasn't been healthy in 2 years. You're going to have to draft somebody that's going to be able to step in if he goes down again this year. You have to do that because protecting Aaron Rodgers is paramount. And let me tell you something. If Aaron Rodgers' Achilles explodes again this season, brother, the calls to fire everybody will be so loud. You guys will be hearing it on this show. I know you will. The fan base is going to scream, and I think that's when, Woody Johnson will look probably to make a move, because that'll be another year where I feel like the New York Jets season will slide unless we, and we'll see the backup quarterback situation be addressed this offseason as well. But that, you can't have that. Not if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, because that's what we're in. We're in win now mode. It's all about Super Bowls. So we're going to see. Again, I've talked about it, man. All right. The offensive line, Michael Winu. I've talked about him. Patriot guy. He's been moved around. He can play tackle, but he's moved around this offensive line. He's a guy that we should be looking at. There's also another guard as well. Mike Zietler, I think his name is. But he's old. He's like 33, almost 34. So there's some things in patchwork moves they can make, but they must utilize the draft to better this offensive line, mainly in a win now mode. Okay. We're going to get back to these lines. I could ramble and go off all night. Please, again, Savages, continue to, hit the chat. Let me know what you folks are thinking. Put your thoughts in the chat, your questions in the chat. I will come to y'all on one man. Oh, GVH, he was right. Matt Rule was the guy I was talking about earlier that went to Carolina. Yeah, he wasn't that great in Carolina, but again, we ended up with Adam Gase. I mean, can we be serious, people? Adam Gase, good Lord, man. That was horrible. We'll keep getting to these lines again. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in next. I'm going to Monty. I'm coming directly to Monty. He's been waiting, and I cannot wait to have a discussion with him. For those of you that do not know,
Bruh,
Monty,
hold on.
Monty is a savage. Hold on. Savage. Monty.
Joe, you chose violence already.
Did I?
Did you have the nerve to fix up your mouth to say we need more USC players when we need more Ohio State players? Like, what are we doing here? I can't wait till we play y'all in the Big Ten. We are going to mop the floor with y'all.
Whoa.
I cannot wait. The
Whoa.
overrated bombs at USC. What?
Whoa.
Like,
Whoa.
are you kidding me?
Whoa, Monty, slow down. You came in off the bat. I got to flush you, man. Whoa.
Where USC players? Those big overrated bums.
Bums? So ATV is a bum?
Bums.
ATV is a bum?
Capital B,
Is
capital
ATV
U,
a bum?
Capital M.
Monty,
S.
is ATV a bum?
Huh?
ATV is a bum? That's crazy.
He
That's
doesn't even
crazy.
play.
That's crazy.
He doesn't even play.
That's crazy.
We're talking about we have Garrett Wilson on
That's
the team.
crazy.
Is Garrett Wilson a bum?
No, he's not a bum. No, he's not a bum. I'm not here disrespecting Garrett Wilson. But let's not act like Ohio State is just off the charts and y'all produce. Like, come on, bro. ATV's here doing business.
We are.
He's had some
like
injuries, but it is what it is.
We have like the last 5 offensive rookies of the year. C.J. Stroud, Garrett Wilson,
blah
Nick
blah blah.
Bosa,
blah blah blah.
Like, come on, Joey Bosa,
blah blah
Chase
blah.
Young. Like, what are we talking about here?
Blah blah
what are we
blah.
talking about here?
Blah blah blah. You know,
like,
it is what it is, man.
Come on, you better check the resume.
I respect the hate.
Ohio State University, sir.
Yeah. Whatever. You know, Monty, I understand your hate. When you're not of the ilk of SC, when you're not as great as we are, I understand why you hate us, bruh. You came in off the bat on fire, hating USC. We ain't never even done nothing to you. I don't talk trash, but trust Monty, we gonna see you. We gonna see you, Monty.
USC players.
Monty, we gonna see you.
Got one on the team that don't even play.
Monty, we gonna see you.
Yeah, we gonna see y'all.
We gonna see you.
Yes,
because you talking crazy. You talking crazy, Monty. You talking crazy. We gonna see you. That's why I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. We gonna pull up. We gonna see you. All right.
Okay.
Now listen.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Jets, Monty, because you already came in with the garbage Ohio State talk. You already came in with that trash. Let's put that away, okay? Let's talk about this report from Rosenblatt and Rossini talking about how dysfunctional the New York Jets are internally. What are your thoughts about this report? Do you believe it? I mean, what do you take from it? And do you think that Robert Saleh?
I believe it.
Okay, go. Let's start with that. Give me your thoughts on it.
Yes, yeah. Hey, Joe, I believe probably 95% of everything that's in that article, because remember me and you were talking about Robert Saleh is the biggest fraud. He comes out first press conference talking about all gas, no brakes, all these mantras, all these slogans, everything. You see him, whenever he hits adversity, there's no gas. It's all brake. You see him on the sideline. He's not doing anything. He's not coaching. He's not paying attention to detail. And then we signed Aaron Rodgers this past season, and there were several things alarming. And Joe, we touched on this, a couple calls ago when I called in. When we in the mini camp, when they decided to take practices off in the mini camp.
Yes, we talked about that.
It's like why. We talked about that. We thought he thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to come in and he was going to save the season. And it's just like, dude, you still have to coach these guys up.
Yeah.
And Robert Saleh just isn't a guy who wants – it doesn't seem like he can properly coach teams going through adversity. I don't see it. Hackett.
Here's the deal.
Hackett has what?
Here's the deal, and I'm gonna let you finish because I want to hear your take. But when we're talking about Saleh, coaching teams through adversity, he did show us that this season. Okay, here's a great example. You look at what happened against the Bills. Aaron Rodgers goes down. We all effectively knew pretty much that the season was over, right? We all knew that because we knew. There was questions behind Aaron Rodgers. We all knew that. Even though, again, I came on to say we're still going to fight. As it played out, we knew that the talent level, quarterback-wise, from Aaron Rodgers to everybody else was completely different, right? So the season was over. But we won that game. And we win that game because Robert Saleh keeps us together. We were competitive. Should have beaten the Chiefs. We got screwed by the referees. We should have beaten the Chiefs that night. That team looked like that because Robert Saleh was on his P's and Q's. You talk about a lack of adjustments, and I'm listening to you, Monty, and I want to hear from you. We go into Philadelphia banged up defensively. No Sauce, no DJ Reed. That defense came out screaming and made Jalen Hurts look like an average quarterback. He looked like a guy in deer in headlights. He didn't know where to throw the ball or how to throw the ball against this New York Jets defense, and the Jets won that game without Aaron Rodgers starting. I'm going to say that, right? So here's all these places where we're battling adversity, and he's showing up. The defense all season. We could talk about Robert Saleh, CEO, head coach. Bro, listen, I told y'all from the jump that CEO, head coach, that's a lie. Let's be serious. There are no such thing as really CEO, head coaches. Even Belichick himself, defensive guy, he's always had great assistant coaches, though. They don't go nowhere else and do nothing, like McDaniels and all of those. McDaniels is trash as a head coach. He was trash when he went to the Broncos. He was trash when he coached the Raiders. That's why they get him up out of there. But with Belichick, okay, listen, you got to get good assistants and handle your business. Belichick wasn't the guy solely running the offense. He didn't do that. He didn't do it. Yeah. So I'm just saying that at no point, well, I'm not going to say at no point. This season, the defense struggled at times, but we all knew it was because they were tired, gassed. There were games where they were just like, bro, you could just tell it was over. But the defense fought all season. I'm going to let you go ahead. I'll let you get the word. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't look at it like that. I look at you like our defense is good, but I don't think our defense is stifling. I think teams, the way that teams play us, they know offensively that we cannot produce. We don't make adjustments offensively. So they know that long as we don't screw the game up, they can't beat us. You know, anytime a team really wants to attack us, they attack us. Our defense is good, but I don't think our defense is elite. I think teams just play us a certain type of way. They play us conservatively, and they don't take chances because they don't have to.
You don't think our defense is elite, Monty?
I honestly don't think. No, I don't think our defense is elite.
How?
I honestly don't.
I'm asking you how, because that to me, that statement is crazy. Especially when ask Patrick Mahomes if the Jets defense is elite. Ask Josh Allen if the Jets defense is elite. Ask Jalen Hurts. Ask these guys. We were called the top QB killer defense for a minute because all the top QBs we played, we made them look like they weren't that good. I don't think that the Jets defense is elite because that was the only reason we were in most of these games. It's the Jets offense that is horrifically bad. The reason why our defense looked certain ways is because they're on the field all game, Monty. They're on the field all game. Anybody would be gassed if you're on the field all game. Anybody would be gassed. And I'm talking about every game. There wasn't one game where the offense really came out and got rolling. We were up by 20. That never happens here. that don't happen here. And we all know how it goes. Yeah. So I do think our defense is elite. Go ahead.
You saw when it does happen, like in the Commanders game, you saw what happened.
We won that game.
Jacoby Brissett came in, and he sliced up our defense. I honestly think, like, I feel like our defense is really, really good. If I have to give our defense a grade, I would say it's a B+. I wouldn't say it's an A. I wouldn't say it's a stifling defense where we're getting all these turnovers. I think teams they learn to play us a certain way. They know that when we cannot score offensively. We can't score offensively if they don't, and our defense makes teams drive up the field. And sometimes it gets boring. Like Josh Allen probably looks at the defense like, man, this stuff is getting boring. Like they can't score, man. Look, I'm trying to score some points. And they just get impatient. It's a good scheme. It's a good scheme, but I'm talking about like elite defense, game-changing defense. I don't think we have. I think we have a really good defense. Really good defense.
Monty,
I think it's going to change once we get. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Monty, we have the third-ranked defense in the league. This is an elite defense. I'm sorry, I hear what you're saying, but bro, we have the third-ranked defense. This is an elite defense. It is. And listen, the game plan against the Jets, like you said earlier, I think is what caused some of the defensive issues that we saw, especially later on in the season in games. Teams would just go, hey, look, we can go out there, we'll play hard, we'll run the ball at them and do all these things, and eventually the defense is going to tire out because the offense sucks. They're going to have a lot of quick 3-and-outs, and we're going to be able to gas this defense and gash them later on in games. That's literally was the game plan. And it worked, but that doesn't mean that our defense isn't elite because we were holding teams. There were so many games where the New York Jets, if we just had average quarterback play, or not even, if our offensive line would just hold the fort just for a second and get some type of score, we would have destroyed
But
teams
who is
this
that
year.
on? That's on the coach, Joe.
Uh,
That's on the coach, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of this, and this is what I'm saying about the team. This
Go
is
ahead.
just my
we
opinion.
got an elite defense.
I
Go ahead.
think that everybody on all the coaches on the team
Mhm.
are out of place. They're playing out of position. I don't think Robert Saleh is a good head coach. I think he's a good coordinator. I don't think Hackett is a good OC. I think he's more of a quarterback coach.
Mm.
That's my assessment. I think they're just playing. They're out of their real true positions of coaching.
I don't think.
And that's what
listen.
I truly feel. I see a coach. I see Robert Saleh. Whenever you see him go up in a press conference, he doesn't speak with conviction. He doesn't know how to deal with the media. He doesn't know. You see him stumbling over his words. He doesn't know how to answer questions. That's not head coach material. When have you ever seen a good head coach, who goes up there who just doesn't know what the right things to say?
I
He's
think
a
he does.
coordinator.
I think he
Coordinator,
does.
Joe.
Listen, Robert Saleh. You have to understand. He has to be careful when he deals with New York media, because they'll phrase things in a way that will make people think that you're saying something that you're not. And there were times where that happened this season.
They know what you say.
Yeah. So listen, Robert Saleh, you could clearly see, especially after certain games, that the look in his face was like he wanted to he wanted to send someone else to a different reality, especially with the offenses struggling the way that they were struggling. You could clearly see that he was frustrated. But I don't think that again, when you look at this team and you look at what he does here, this defense is screaming all year, okay? All year. The offensive struggles were what they were, and that leads me to my next question from you. It's crazy to even hear you say that the Jets defense is an elite. Again, this is Monty, a big supporter of Ohio State. Okay, this is what we're getting from Ohio State, that the Jets defense is an elite. But what I want to say is this. With all the offensive struggles that we saw last year, you talked about Nathaniel Hackett. We're talking about this report about a lack of attention to detail with him, that, he's a guy that just kind of placates to whatever. Do you think Aaron Rodgers coming back fully healthy will solve all of these issues that we have, even with the coaching? Do you think that his presence on the field will solve all of these offensive problems?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not, because you gotta people don't really pay attention outside of watching the Jets games. If you actually look at Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, he is not a Tom Brady type of quarterback. He likes to go for the big plays, the intermediate plays. Even you
What?
could see when the play in which he got hurt, if he would have threw the correct to the correct read, it would have been a completion. But
Oh,
Aaron
my Lord.
Rodgers likes to hold on to I'm telling you, Joe. I'm telling you.
Monty.
I'm telling you.
Good
you just
Lord.
You have to pay attention to
What?
outside of Jets football. Yes.
Bro, what are you talking about,
Yes.
man?
Yes. He's a good he either it's there or he's gonna throw it away, or he likes to hold on to the ball. He likes to go to, more intermediate routes. What he does with Devontae, when he had Devontae Adams, the thing that he liked to do, same with Garrett Wilson, he liked to do stop routes and he likes to throw to his receiver and let them make plays. But people think that Aaron Rodgers can save the team until a certain degree. Yeah, I think so. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers, the way in which he plays, he's not going to make it through the season. He's just not. Our offensive line, and he's not, man. Our offensive line
Monty.
is horrible, bro.
Monty, listen. You're talking about that play. That was first off, that was a horrible cut block by Dwayne Brown, who is garbage. And I told y'all he was garbage and he was going to come back and be garbage. But you're also forgetting the first, we were 4 plays in
there, Joe.
before he was
there.
running for
It
his
was a
life,
dude right in his
Monty.
face.
He was running for his life. Aaron Rodgers was literally
Yes,
running
and
for
we
his
saw
life.
the same
He couldn't
thing
even
in
drop
preseason.
back without
We saw
somebody
the
being
same
right in his
thing
face.
preseason.
So,
Joe,
what?
he had a completion right into his face, and right in front of his face. He hitched once, in which he should have thrown the pass, and then he hit, and then he held on to the ball.
Wow.
And Leonard Floyd was on his back. That's how the play went. The receiver was wide open. If he would have threw it, it would have been a completion.
Monty, he was running for his
Aaron
life.
Rodgers? Did you see Aaron Rodgers in the preseason?
He ran
Yes.
for his life all night. All night. Now,
Yes.
listen, this is the craziness that is coming out of Ohio State. Now we're saying that Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the ball out of his hands fast enough. Good God. Please. This Jets offensive line is horrific, Monty.
Hold on.
It was horrific.
Can I clarify?
Please clarify. Please. I'm going to give you a chance. Because that's the grace that we give at USC. We're going to give you a chance. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers can't play the quick game. I'm not saying that he's not able to play the quick game.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what Aaron Rodgers wants to do. Tom Brady wants to get the ball out as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
A second. As soon as he, 3-step drop, the ball's out of his hands. If it's not there, he's going to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers is not – if you go back and you look at any Green Bay game when he was with the Packers, Aaron Rodgers likes to throw those intermediate routes, those deep routes. That's what he likes to do. Aaron Rodgers throws a beautiful ball, and Aaron Rodgers gets away with a lot of things because of his talent, of his accuracy. I'm not saying that he can't. I'm just saying that's not what he wants to do.
Well,
and that's it.
Okay. I mean, again, we're listening to Ohio State explain a lot of things. We're going to continue to move, Monty.
Talking about the Ohio State.
Yeah.
State, sir.
Monty from Ohio State. All right, listen. We're going to continue to talk about this football team, and we talked about the offensive line, and we know that there definitely needs to be some things that are addressed, right? One of those things that I'm looking at is Elijah Vera Tucker, right? A lot of people saying they want him back at tackle. Some people saying they want to move to guard. What would you do with Elijah Vera Tucker next season when you're looking at how to rebuild this offensive line? Do you keep him at tackle? Do you put him at guard? What would you do?
You gotta put him at guard. I don't understand why people want to put him at tackle. Yes, I understand he can play tackle at a high level, but it looks like it's just something about putting him at tackle that is just getting him hurt. I mean, either or is good, but I would hope that the Jets do what's best for him and just keep him at guard. Everybody thinks it's just the same thing, like guard and tackle is the same thing, but it's different type of movement.
Absolutely,
you're dealing with different types of defensive linemen. You have to be a little bit quicker at tackle. You have to extend yourself a little bit more at tackle. It's more speed based, and I mean, you just look at the injuries. It's like he had an Achilles injury last year. That's quickness. He's trying to get out a little bit quicker than normal. The last year, he had a pec tear. That's extending you're extending your arms at tackle a little bit more than you are at guard. I would want to see him at the guard position, and I think that the Jets would be doing a disservice if they continue to put him at the tackle position, because I mean, now we have a track record. I mean, you could say one time is a fluke, but the second time, I mean, it's a track record at this point. Would you want it to happen a third time?
Yeah.
Like, just put him at guard and just build your team the correct way. Like, I know they say the best five, but I mean, if you build your team the correct way, you don't have to put him at tackle. And I think that's on Joe Douglas. I think that's on the coaching staff to get these guys prepared. The guys that they draft or free agents that they bring in to get them prepared to play at their natural positions. Now, I understand he's a freak. He can play both, but I don't think that's best for his career. I think AVT has to be vocal about it. I know he's a team player. He has to be vocal and say, like, look, man, like, just put me at guard. I was a team player. I did this for you guys, but my position is at guard. So,
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that's
you
the
know,
best position for him.
yeah, he's always said that he'll play whatever, you know, the coaches tell him to. Basically, I'll do whatever the coaches tell me to do. He's always been a team guy wherever he's needed on the line.
Yeah.
But I think he should be back at right guard myself. You know, of course, I watched him at USC. I always thought that he was going to be a right guard. Yes, he's played left tackle before and blah, blah, blah. Put him at right guard and go get yourself some tackles. So my final question before I let you go, Monty, this very, very interesting call from you. The Jets defense is an elite. Aaron Rodgers, you know, can't play the quick game. All these things that you've said. Again, this is Ohio State. This is what you get from Ohio Stadiums.
I mean, you can go back and look at all the debates that we had. I mean, I'm pretty much winning. Remember Mr. Mekhi Becton, Mr. Mekhi Becton, all pro guy.
Well, I know you were also a guy. You were also a guy that just loved Jamal Adams and everything that he brought to the team and how great he was going to be in Seattle.
Adams,
anybody remember that?
All-pro.
Oh, he's going to be a great Seattle
All-pro, right?
Seahawk, and he's going to be so great there at safety. But we forgot all that. Okay.
I never said that. I never said that he was going to be great with Seattle. I knew that he was great with us. I know he was great with us.
What? Jamal Adams was a fraud. Speaking of a fraud, listen, my final question before I let you go, okay, because now we're just getting crazy, okay? Senior Bowl is coming up.
Okay.
Senior Bowl is coming up.
All right.
What are players that you're keeping your eyes on that you think would be great here for the New York Jets that are going to be in that Senior Bowl, man?
All right. So, you know, we've had discussions about this previous calls. You know how I like to draft first rounders. You know, from certain schools. If you're going with offensive linemen, I would definitely want my offensive lineman out of the Big Ten or Notre Dame. So I'm gonna first off, I want a lineman, and I want to go with Joe Alt. I don't want the guy out of Penn State. Fuaga. I would take Fuaga.
Yeah, he's going to be at the Senior Bowl. Fuaga.
I would take Fuaga, and I would take in the draft Joe Alt. The senior, I really haven't been paying attention too much to the Senior Bowl. I don't know who's down there, but the players that I want in the draft. Who is?
Fuaga's going to be there. There's a couple guys. There's a couple of tackles that are going to be there. Fuaga's one. Christian Jones is going to be there from Texas. Jordan Morgan from Arizona is going to be there. And I'm telling you, there's a wide receiver that I'm keeping my eyes on, Devontae Walker from NC. He's going to be there too. I'm keeping my eyes on him, but I'll let you finish up. Go ahead.
From NC State or UNC?
From UNC.
Oh, okay. Nah, I don't want them. I want my receivers. My receivers have to be from LSU. First rounders, they got to be from LSU, Ohio State.
He's not a first rounder, but go ahead.
Or Bama. I take my receivers out of Bama as well. First rounders, yes.
Okay.
So if he's from UNC in the first round, no. Maybe in the second or third, you can get some great value or something. But you know, I pay attention to track records, man.
Okay.
I pay attention to track records. LSU, Ohio State, Bama, and that's it in my first round. So I don't want no small school guys. I don't.
Bati, you are psychotic, man. You're psychotic. Listen, I gotta slide off.
Hey, there's a Joe.
Yes,
Joe.
Yes.
There's a method to my madness, man.
I'm sure it is.
You have to get through the shock value of it. There's always a method to my madness in what I say, because you're gonna look back. You're like, you know what, Gully was right. Yeah. You know, he was right about it.
Yeah.
But you got to go through the shock value first, man. You got to go through the shock value. You know. You got to, man.
Yeah, Monty. Listen, crack is whack. Thank you for calling in, Monty. You have yourself a good night. Next time,
Joe, don't do me like that.
Next
man.
time I have a show, I want to hear from you. Okay.
Don't do me like that, Joe. I'm a savage, man. Don't do me like that.
You are
man.
a savage. I'll give that to you.
I'm telling you, Joe. I'm telling you. Like I'm right about Ohio State. We're gonna whoop you guys.
Blah blah blah.
You know, USC is average.
Blah blah blah.
We get some Ohio State guys. We're Ohio State guys.
Blah blah blah.
On the Jets roster.
Blah blah blah.
We'll win.
All right.
Simple.
Listen, Monty. Thank you for calling in. You have yourself a good night. I gotta slide off. That was Monty, everybody. There was a lot of takes spread in that one. The Jets defense isn't elite. Aaron Rodgers didn't get the ball out of his hands quick enough. I mean, wow, what in the world?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That's what you get when you get a lot of these Ohio State representatives. We're going to keep it moving. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. All right? We got takes to hear. Salutes to everybody in the chat. All of the Savages. Rusty, Lil Balloon, salutes. Always good to see you in the building. Bree, another one of my overseas guys. Salutes to you as well. Captain K, everybody in the building. I see you, Venom G. Salutes as well to you. We're going to keep on moving on, okay? We got a lot. We got callers we got to get to. Man, Monty is crazy. Next, we're going to Mike. We're going to Mike from Tom's River. Val, you'll be coming up next. New callers, hold on. We're going to Mike from Tom's River. Listen, for those of you that do not know, okay, listen, Mike, he's a savage. Savage! Mike, salutes. I want to thank you for calling in tonight. Give me your thoughts, man, about this article that dropped from Rosenblatt and Rossini. What are your thoughts on it, and do you believe any of it, man?
All right, let me start off like this.
Mm-hmm.
The full Monty is crazy. Okay. Do you remember the movie Old School when they were having the debate and the moderator goes, "We are just stupider just for listening to that."
Oh my God. Listen, this is what Mike had to say. Listen, I respect it and love every Savage. Monty, that take was crazy. You got some background noise there, Mike. If you could cut down the background noise. I don't know if you got me playing or you got me on mute. Or put that on mute, please.
I'm sorry, it was TV. I'm sorry.
Listen, Monty's got his takes. Okay, he's got his takes. I respect everybody's takes, but the Savages, they're going to get at you. Now, listen, Mike, we've been talking tonight, and there's been a lot of things moving and shaking around here. Man, this report comes out, and there's a lot of Jets fans that are extremely upset, calling for the firing of Robert Saleh. They want him out of here after, reading these things. What are your thoughts about those, man? Do you think it's warranted from Jets fans to call or to scream for Robert Saleh to be fired after this article comes out with a lot of bombshells in the report?
I don't think so. I don't trust what these inside reporters. It's mostly fake news. They've been wrong so many times. It's like, let it play out.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
If they did get rid of him, I would like to see Aaron Glenn as head coach.
Okay. I know that there's he's definitely a hot name in the league. He's doing his thing, but yeah. I mean, it's interesting. I don't think he gets fired, and I've talked about this multiple times because of various reasons. Again, the Jets are on the cusp of being a Super Bowl contender, especially with Aaron Rodgers back in the fold and fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to blow any of that up just to placate to whatever. And I know that there's been reports that Woody Johnson is upset that this report has come out. I've also heard reports that a lot of people view this as a personal dig at the Jets. And that, I don't know, some people are very upset in high places in the Jets thing, and this could, definitely jack up some things with the media, but it's not happening. And if anybody should get fired, it's Nathaniel Hackett, and he's definitely not going anywhere. We're not going to make big sweeping changes unless things completely fall off the rails the next season. So I'm right there with you, Mike. But as we continue forward and look at this situation, man, do you think that Aaron Rodgers is enough to fix all of the offensive issues that we saw with the New York Jets? And even the stuff that we're hearing about, the issues with Nathaniel Hackett and his coaching style, lack of adjustments. Do you think Aaron Rodgers' presence on the field will fix these things and make them go away?
Well, it's all gas and no defensive bricks. Okay? But I think Rodgers will say that because Monty, unlike Monty, Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball really quick. He can read defense. He's another coach on the field,
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I couldn't
Man.
believe it. And in ATV, he had 2 fluke injuries: the tricep tear and Achilles. You know,
Yeah.
let me tell you what, we can get him on the cheap when he signs. You know, and then we could have incentive-lated deal. You know, where if he plays so many games, then he gets paid more and more and more. I think that'll work out really great for us. Because ATV is awesome. He's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
Now,
I think.
no,
Sorry.
go ahead. Go ahead. You said you think what?
It depends on free agency who we could pick up for like left tackle or right tackle. You know, like
Yep.
Smith from Dallas.
Mhm.
I would go either if he's available, the wide receiver from Washington State, Oduza, whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think I know who you're
Pick
talking
him up,
Mhm.
or the tight end from Georgia, Bowers.
about. You know,
That's what I would like to say.
listen, I know a lot of people are talking about Bowers. And I've said this before. I don't think there's any way that you could end up with Bowers. And it's two things for me. And the guy you were talking about, Rome Oduza, he is really, really good. He's a good wide receiver. I can't see a reality where the New York Jets have and I mean, I won't say I can't see a reality, but I just don't see how the New York Jets solve a lot of the issues along the offensive line in free agency. I don't see it. Right? Especially if we're talking about getting rid of Laken Tomlinson, which every Jet fan that I've talked to wants to have happen. All of them. I haven't talked to one Jet fan that isn't like, oh, yeah, Laken Tomlinson's gone. So that's 3 spots. And then actually,
That is true. That's true.
Actually it's 4 if we're adding, hey, we got to get a backup for ATV just in case. Right? But there's gaping holes at left tackle, right tackle, and left guard if you're getting rid of Laken Tomlinson. So I look at it like this. Bowers, is he a great player? Yes. I want to put this out there. Great. Listen, Bowers is going to be a good tight end in the league. I think he'll be phenomenal. Here's my problem. We already have 4 tight ends that we don't utilize, right? And Conklin, Jeremy Ruckert, CJ Uzama, who knows what the future is with him. He's garbage. But did you guys even forget Zach? I don't want to say his last name because it's YouTube and they get crazy. But Zach K, the big tight end from ODU that we got. Remember the love affair? Yeah. Listen, Mike, YouTube, very sensitive.
He's a project.
Yeah, but remember, what happened to the love affair with him? We already got 4 tight ends that we don't utilize. Why are we adding another guy, especially due to the fact that we see that even if a guy is receiving threat, right, like Garrett Wilson, we won't be able to utilize him because nobody can block. We have weapons here already that we can't utilize effectively because our offense and mainly our quarterback doesn't have enough time to let anything develop because they're running for their lives. So, look, I get it. Bowers, very attractive from a talent standpoint. I get it. Great tight end, blah, 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 so on and so forth. Won't matter because we won't be able to utilize him. The same way we can't utilize Breece Hall, the same way that we can't utilize Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson be open 90% of the game. We can't get the ball to him because our quarterbacks are running for their lives because nobody can block. I get it, but I don't want to hear about a tight end being drafted because we need offensive line help like never before, and this is a must-win year. We have to be close or make the playoffs, and we're talking about Super Bowl already. We cannot take a luxury. And listen, tight end position, he's great tight end, but he's a luxury. When you look at what we need, he's a luxury. He's not a necessity. We don't need another tight end on this team. Everything you guys talk about, and again, I talk to a lot of Jets fans. A lot of the things that people talk about when they talk about Bowers, I heard a lot of that when we drafted Jeremy Ruckert. I heard that Jeremy Ruckert was the best tight end in that class and that he was going to come in and completely change the way the Jets were moving. And, I mean, he is good. We've seen him do a lot of great things for the New York Jets, and I think he's going to be great as we continue on. But we don't need another tight end. That's just my take on it. What are your thoughts?
I totally agree with you. I like Jeremy Ruckert. I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good because he could pass, catch, and block. He's all around tight end. I mean, if they go the other way for the offensive line, like I would go with Joe Alt. You know.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get him. You know, but they're predicting the kid from Oregon State, the Fuana, whatever he is.
Tyrese Fuaga.
Right,
that's who's probably going to be
the right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying that he's going to be a guard. He's going to project to a guard. I mean, maybe you could kick him to the left side and get rid of Tomlinson. Get rid of that money.
I mean, we can see. Like I said, I think he's a guy that can stick out there. But there's other tackles as well in the draft that could be there. Mims is another guy that I think we could end up taking. I honestly think Fasanu could be there, but I think that he's probably going to be the last guy after Alton Latham to be taken before 10. So if Fasanu is there though from Penn State, I'm taking him, right? But Taliese Fuaga, I think he's going to be a guy I think could end up playing tackle at this level. I think we could put him out there, but Mims as well. But I think a lot of people are losing sight.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's paramount that we protect Aaron Rodgers. It's paramount. You can't have another season like you did this year. You can't. Because if everything falls apart, there's going to be huge issues here with the New York Jets, Mike. Listen, and I hear you. So my final question before I let you go, Mike, because you've really been bringing the fire tonight. Jermaine Johnson makes the Pro Bowl, man. What are your thoughts about that?
Yep. I loved it. I didn't watch the skills competition. I wanted to watch the dodgeball, but I missed it. But it's going to come on tomorrow, I believe, on ABC. I think it's just the beginning for him.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be. I think they should lock him up like next year. Give him an extension. Lock him up before he gets too expensive.
Talk about it, because Bryce Huff, he ain't gonna come cheap. Listen, Mike, this is phenomenal discussion with you. I gotta slide off. We got callers. Next time I have a show, I want to hear from you, man. You always bring some great takes.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely. You have yourself a good one. Listen, Mike calls in with some fire, man. Listen, I'm telling y'all, the Savages, they don't hold back for nobody. I'm not safe, and neither is anybody else. They don't like your take, they're gonna let you know. That's why I love them. The Jets don't have an elite defense, and Aaron Rodgers can't get the ball out of his hands fast enough. This is crazy. 515-602-9639. 515-602-9639 is the number. Call in. I am taking all callers. Next! I'm going to Val. Let me tell you something. We're going to Val, and the shenanigans have begun, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that do not know Val, he's a savage. Savage! Val, you are here.
Oh, man.
Let the craziness begin, okay? Val, we have been talking all night. A lot of great takes going back and forth. People, saying all kinds of different things, their views on the team. I know you know about this report, okay? I'm asking everybody about it because I want to hear all Jets fans' opinions. How much of this report do you believe? And what is your stance on Robert Saleh? Should he be fired? Because a lot of Jets fans are screaming that he should be fired because of what came out in this report. Give me your thoughts.
Oh, well, everything was so positive. Everybody's just moving on to the next season. We're going to just totally forget about last year that they completely punted on the season, and we were not going to fire nobody. How is that turning out so far? It's just like, man, I've been saying this, but listen, to answer your question, it's definitely like 90%, 95%. I definitely agree with it. I mean, even to the point that you didn't bring up, even he said that it would be a miracle if Zach Wilson could get even 8 wins. I mean, it just shows you that he doesn't really trust. Yep, he doesn't really trust in Zach Wilson like we thought he did, as he always says at the end of every game, because obviously this is the guy that he benched 4 or 5 times already. And this is the second pick of the draft and stuff like that. So obviously you could see that he didn't really trust in Zach Wilson like that as well too. As I've been saying, Robert Saleh really felt that way. You should have re-signed Mike White and either, move on from Zach Wilson if that's his power, if, he was capable of doing that, because how that goes, when it comes to management and everything like that. And also, Aaron Rodgers being the what is it? What they said? The association of the
he's
of the
the
GM.
general. No, he's the general. He's the actual general manager for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is,
Right.
and Joe Douglas is the
Exactly.
assistant
And Joe
general
Douglas is
manager.
our GM. Exactly. He's really the assistant GM. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like, that's basically how it's been running. I mean, we've been hearing Aaron Rodgers every week when he's on Pat McAfee, and he's always talking about the team, and we just never hear from Joe Douglas, and Joe Douglas is just in the background, and we're getting all these Packer guys, and I'm just like, okay, we got Cobb. I'm like, we didn't really need Cobb. We could have at least got somebody else and stuff, but I understand you want that mentorship and stuff to help with the scheme and everything for the young guys and to get them up to speed. But it's just like we could have definitely used that, that roster spot for a different wide receiver that was much younger and that could have been way more capable, because it was just ridiculous. He was getting 44 snaps, and Hardman, he barely even touched the ball at all. And as soon as we got rid of Hardman, all those snaps went away from Cobb, and he was just sitting on the sidelines. It just didn't make no sense of how things was going. And the Daniel Hackett, oh my God. I mean, if that's not true, I mean, what have we been seeing this whole season? It's just like it's been the same simple plays that everybody could scheme up and, could definitely see that it was just bland, and they was banking on, Bowles to be the person to really show that he knows the system in and out, and that was a complete failure.
Mm-hmm.
As I seen in the preseason that he was not that guy. As soon as he got out there, it was just terrible. We couldn't even score at all, even with Zach Wilson or even with Bowles as well too. So
Tim Boyle, yeah.
So Tim Boyle.
Here's the thing, and I want to give the other side of the argument, right? Now, look, I look at it like this, and I hear a lot of what you're saying. And I do, and I understand why some people look at it the way that they do. Sullivan, according to the article, like you said as well, he thought it would be a miracle for them to get to 8 wins with Zach Wilson, and because Zach Wilson was struggling with especially with the offensive line and everything, and I did talk about, again, he blamed Zach, the O-line, and the wide receivers for the offensive struggles. But I mean, at that point, they were already into the season with Zach Wilson. They were already there. We saw them. Of course, Mike White, like you said, walked away in free agency and ended up with the Dolphins. But let me tell you something, man. Tim Boyle, I think they really looked at him as he was going to be the guy, but we knew that Tim Boyle was trash because he was trash all preseason.
He was trash.
Yeah, he wasn't even like. It was
why
crazy.
We see this, but they don't see this?
Yeah.
That's my problem with this. That's my problem with this, Joe. Why do we see this on TV, but they're live at the game and they don't make no change? That's my problem with this team right now.
Yeah.
And Dwayne Brown, you called that from the summertime to the season, and he was like, man, this is a real problem. But they didn't make no adjustments until he got hurt. Yeah. That's when they was like, you know what? Let's put Mekhi back in, since he's been arguing with us since the whole summer. Let's put him on the left side. And then it's been good ever since until towards the middle and the end. Yeah. But other than that, it was a better adjustment. Yeah. This is my problem with this coaching staff.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. This is the coaching staff that we're supposed to go to the Super Bowl with?
Yeah. And this is what's crazy, is that's why I'm telling y'all nobody's going to get fired. Nobody's going to get fired.
And I completely agree with that.
Yeah, no one's going to get fired. And I keep telling Jets fans that I truly do not believe that anyone is going to get fired. First off, if they were going to do it, it would have already happened, because Black Monday came and went.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when everybody was getting fired. Nobody's gotten fired. Now we'll make some positional change with like some coaches, some assistant coaches. Like I said, we got Sean Jefferson in the building. We were able to get in Tony Dews as well. I think that those guys are going to help Nathaniel Hackett within the game planning. That's usually what happens on the offensive side of the ball. Even with the Chiefs, right? Even with the Chiefs, Andy Reid, it's not just him and like the offensive coordinator. No, they help with their positional coaches. That's why their coaching tree is so strong. Like guys like Matt Nagy and all these guys go places and do all, because they are all tied in. Now, of course, Andy Reid and that old coordinator, they make their decisions. But that's the kind of the same
Right.
thing that we I think they're going to be doing here with Sean Jefferson, Tony Dews. They're going to bring in these fresh guys, fresh eyes that are going to say, hey, we should be doing this, do that. Let's utilize players in this way. We could do this with the play call, all kinds of things on top of the fact that I think, Aaron Rodgers is going to play a big part. And that's where I want to go with you, Val, because you have a lot of takes, man. Do you think that Aaron Rodgers, the presence of him healthy, is going to fix a lot of the issues that we're seeing along the offensive side of the ball with play calling, coaching? Do you think that his presence healthy on the field will kibosh all of the issues that we have along our offense?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This is a 53-man roster, and this is an organization that has to be, right, on the same point of the team and stuff like that of us to succeed. And from the top to the bottom, it's just basically we're basically putting a Band-Aid on a sinking ship, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like Aaron Rodgers, yes, he's a good quarterback. He still has to show that he is that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Even though I understand what you'd be saying of, like, he's the best quarterback that we ever had, which is true,
Mm-hmm.
but he has to do that. He has to perform that in a Jets uniform as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
We got to see what type of player we're getting out of him as well, too. And, we got to see if, he's still that same player, because that's still a question mark as well, too. But I just feel like the offense will look a lot more better, and I do believe we're going to score a lot more points, of course, with Aaron Rodgers and a capable quarterback. But we have to protect him, and that's the main thing about it. But to answer your question, I would say we have to, all around, have to get better as a team. It's not just one player.
No, yeah. I mean, you're talking that talk. Listen, we're talking about the offensive line. I want to go there with you. When you look at this O-line, man, what are you doing to fix it, man? When you look at a lot of the issues that we have at this point, there's a hole there at left tackle. Are you bringing Mekhi Becton back? Are you moving on from Laken Tomlinson? What are you doing with ATV? Are you keeping him at right tackle? Are you moving him somewhere else? I mean, what are you doing, Val? What is just sitting here right now spitballing? Where do you start? What do you kind of do to get this offensive line up to snuff to properly protect Aaron Rodgers?
This is going to be a kind of a problem right here, because I hate to say it, but if we don't get the much capable that we could get when it comes to like offensive line, we might have to put AVT at right tackle again, which kind of sucks, because I would really like him at right guard. It's only, it's best for him because that's his actual position and stuff like that. And I will say, like, Mekhi Becton, I don't know if they're going to move on for him or they're going to keep him, because, again, we didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so he's free to go, or, hopefully we could get him on a cheap, but he's probably going to look towards, free agency or something like that to find out a better situation. But, he does have the relationship with Aaron Rodgers, so hopefully he could sway him to stay and stuff. So, but that would be as best. But, again, he has health issues as well, too. And the only bright spot I see right now is AVT and Tippmann right now is like basically the bright spots right now. And Laken Tomlinson, I don't know if we're going to move on from him, but we definitely do need to. But that's going to cost us, I think, $10 million. Yeah, I think that will cost us like
I think he has no guaranteed money, and it would actually save us $13 million if we do it post June 1st, from what I remember. So it'll save us $13 million.
Oh yeah, then get rid of him. Absolutely, move on from him. And this is my only problem, Joe. Like, all the stuff that is coming out is as glad as I am is that everything is coming out, is also bad at the same time, because free agency, as we're listening to this, the people that are hitting free agency are listening to this as well too. And we was just a destination for free agents to come here. So now everybody's saying that there's turmoil, and they just seen this past season how, players are coming out and saying that the offense is lackadaisical, but the defense is really good, which is the bright spot of the situation. But you got a coach that might not be here next year, and you have a GM that might not be here next year as well too. Because again, they're all on 1-year deal. They're all on a hot seat. It's not a guarantee that they're going to be here. And Aaron Rodgers said he's only going to play for 2 or 3 more years, possibly, because, you know, like I said, the 2022 class, that class is coming up. That's going to be their end of their contract for 3 more years and stuff like that. So we have a small window. That's what I said. We have to really, really be very focused because Sauce Gardner, Garrett Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, everybody, you know, they're all on rookie deals right now. We have to take advantage right now. If we don't take advantage, we're going to lose out on this opportunity of hitting that home run in 2022. So hopefully, and I'm just hoping that things turn around as well too. And yeah, man, I just basically feel like that for the offensive line, you know, to answer your question.
Yeah, listen, that was a great take, and especially when you talked about how there are players outside of this locker room that are free agents that the same way we can hear and see what's going on, or according, you know, they can read this report as well. Now, again, I'm not a guy that believes in this report as much as others do. Again, I'm not disrespecting, Rosenblatt or Rossini. I'm just saying I don't believe as much as others do about this report. Okay, I think there are some things that in there that are true, but the bulk of it I don't. And then some of this stuff again is stuff that we've heard before that has been, you know, poo-pooed. We heard about Zach Wilson not wanting to play.
I also forgot to say last time too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Odell Beckham came out two weeks ago about the recruiting process as well too. How they were just like, you know, not really caring that if he came or go and stuff like that. So it was just like the recruiting process as well too. It has to get better as well too. Well, because if we're coming out like that, oh, go ahead.
Well, no, yeah. Listen, I heard that, but here's the deal: they offered him a contract, and they were all pretty much locked in, right? We all heard about that, and I think we heard from Odell himself where he called them once Baltimore made the offer that they did. He called the Jets, and the Jets were like, "We're not matching that." Like, we're not going to spend as much as Baltimore did. And honestly, like, I mean, you look at Baltimore's last game, and it's no disrespect. Odell's still a good player. Like, he's still solid. But, bro, there was no way the Jets were going to pay him that much. He didn't do anything in the last game with Baltimore at all. So it's like, I get it, but Joe Douglas has been known for being a stickler.
It's trash, by the way, too. Yeah,
Come on, Val.
6 times you run the ball in that whole game, and Dalvin Cook didn't even get no touches. Oh my God! They was treating Lamar Jackson like he was Tom Brady. He had. Oh man, let's not even get into that. Listen. 6 times you run the ball in that game after the Buffalo Bills ran it through that defense the whole time.
Yeah,
and you don't run the ball.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Listen. Lamar Jackson is amazing. Okay. But there were some things that's gone on over there, okay, with the Ravens. I don't want Ravens fans in my DMs. I'm not disrespecting y'all unless we playing y'all and you disrespect me. But, man, let me tell you, they got to get it together over there. But either way, anyway, you look at the situation of Joe Douglas has been a stickler. He's already shown he's not going to placate and bend over to any free agent whatsoever. So it's not happening. Like, either you're going to come in for a solid deal or you're not. And that's what makes me very, it's going to be very interesting to see how he deals with the free agent offensive lineman this upcoming free agency in March. Because let me tell you something. There's a good chance the Jets might not come out of there with anybody. We might actually go into the draft needing a left tackle and a right tackle. I'm just saying.
We might have to overpay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like, I'm keeping it all the way real because let me tell you something. The Jets, I think, currently have like $16 million. I know that they can cut a lot of people and get a lot of guys in and stuff. But guess what? The guys you cut, you got to replace them with somebody. For those of y'all that don't know that.
Exactly.
You got to replace them with somebody. So the money you gain, that you got to pick that up. Never mind the fact that, hey, guys, anybody know that we got guys out there that we need to resign? Like, I know some people don't like Jordan Whitehead. I would like to bring him back for the right price. Okay? So that's a safety. And that would be a starting safety. If you let him walk, that's a starting safety. So I think Jordan Whitehead we need to bring back. Anybody want to talk about Morstead and Greg Zuerlein? bro, our special teams was phenomenal this year.
We got to bring him back.
I'm saying,
We
like,
got to bring back Derek Zimmerline.
more,
That is important.
bro. He literally won us the
He
Commanders
was basically
game.
the offensive player of the year.
Yeah, he won us the Commanders. If it wasn't for him, we would have lost to the Commanders, and they are garbage. We would have lost to him.
Exactly.
We literally won games because of
He
him
would've
and
lost
his
to
leg.
The Giants too.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. So those two guys you need to bring back. But by the way, the biggest is Bryce Huff. I don't know if y'all know this, bruh. And I know I don't understand why Jets fans aren't getting this. Hey, Bryce Huff is grading out as one of the top pass rushers in all of the league. Not just with the Jets, in all of the league. His get off, the pressures, the hurries, it's all there. Okay? 10.5 sacks, I believe, this year. He led the Jets in sacks. If you think that Huff is going to re-sign for a cheeseburger and a half-drinking Gatorade, you're out of your mind. This man is going to get paid. And let me tell you something. If you don't come with the bag, he didn't already let it be known. He hasn't said he hasn't been disgusting about it.
He's not taking no home account.
Yeah, he's already let it be known. I'm not taking a home as he shouldn't. He shouldn't take a hometown discount. That means you're going to be paying him in free agency. And trust, if you don't, someone else will. And if we're talking about let Bryce Huff walk, okay, cool. Jermaine Johnson, 7.5 sacks. This year, he looked good. He's going to the Pro Bowl. But after him, you don't have any proven pass rushers. I love Will McDonald. I think he's going to be great. But he's not proven. Not as proven as Bryce Huff.
We haven't seen it too much. Yeah, we have. Exactly.
Val,
I like that Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald is going to be working out this offseason.
I hope they do. Because if Bryce Huff does not return, the pressure for Will McDonald to step up and be that guy is going to be immense, especially when you talk about going to the Super Bowl. Are you willing to go? Are you willing to go into Kansas City, Philadelphia, all these other top teams with just two pass rushers? You think that's going to get it done? You think two guys are going to just, Lamar Jackson, you're not going to have no problem chasing him with just two guys. Are you crazy? You crazy? And by the way, we talk about Will McDonald. He barely played this season. He was deactivated like the first couple of games of the year. Anyway, I'll give you the last word, Val. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to ask, what about Carl Lawson? What's going on with that situation?
Carl Lawson is more likely gone. He's going to get cut. He didn't even play most of this year at all. Okay. He was deactivated most of the year, too. He's probably gone, too.
He was basically on the sideline.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, so we might as well just re-sign this man, Bryce Huff, if we're going to do that. Because we're going to get rid of that contract.
In my personal opinion, you don't have a choice. If we're talking about Super Bowls, if we're talking about winning the Super Bowl, at this point, it goes through Kansas City. Ask anybody that has faced that man out there in Kansas City what it's like. Ask the Buffalo Bills why they went and got Von Miller. Ask them. I'll give you the last word, Val. We're short on time. Quickly, we got to wrap it up.
Okay.
Your thoughts.
All right, man. Yeah, we got to bring back Bryce Huff. I totally agree with that. Listen, Robert Saleh, his record is 18-36. He has not been a good head coach so far. He has a lot to work on. This is his last year, hopefully, but I will say hopefully he turns it around as well, too, and Joe Douglas as well, too. And, and I forgot what the other guy's name was. He was saying that the defense is not elite.
Monty.
I'm like, wow.
Monty.
I couldn't believe
Monty from Ohio. He's an Ohio State fan. Monty, that's the Ohio State fan. Yeah, go ahead.
Man, Monty, I can't believe you said that, man. Well, listen, they are ranked third. They was ranked fourth last year, and they went up another point. I mean, another rank as well, too. Yeah. They're third overall. So I don't know where you're getting at with that, because we definitely made a lot of elite quarterbacks look very below average or average at best.
Yep.
When they came to MetLife or we was going against them, and it was only a few that got by and stuff due to the defense, being tired out or being on the field like 80 to 75% of the time and stuff. So you can't blame the defense at all this year. And what I would grade them, an A+ for sure. I mean, no, I would grade them an A.
Yeah.
A to A- as well. So because, you can't do nothing with it when you don't have an offense to balance it out. And that's all I got to say, Joe.
Yeah. Listen, I got to slide off, Val. They be hating on you, boy. Next time I have a show, 90
seconds.
You hear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You hear?
All right, man. Have a good one. Everything you say in the end is definitely Allegation.
Oh my God. Listen, I gotta slide off. We gotta close the show down because they about to shut your boy down. Quickly, I want to say any Jets fan that is pulling for Jamal Adams to be a New York Jet again, I think you're crazy. That man disrespected the team, the fan base, and I'm talking to everybody.
60 seconds.
Called Joe Douglas a liar and all. But listen, I'm the man of the people. I'm here for the people. Let me shamelessly promote my Facebook page. Everyone go on Facebook, search The Long Beach Joe Show. Like that page. My content's up there. Go ahead and give it a listen. Message me. I'll message you right back. I love going back and forth with you folks about this football team. Also, leave me some feedback. I love hearing about what you folks think I do here on The Long Beach Joe Show. I'm also on Twitter as well, at The Long Beach Joe, at The Long Beach Joe on Twitter. Go ahead and follow me. I'll follow you right back. You know, troll me, no issues. I'm the troll that lives under the bridge, and I will have a Vera Tucker jersey on at all times. Fight on. He'll be back next year, okay? So please go ahead and troll me. We're under the bridge. Let's get it. I'm also on YouTube as well, okay? Long Beach Joe Jets on YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you folks will be in the know. Also give the videos a thumbs up. Share the videos across your social media with your friends and your family, all right? You're going to troll me, hit the comments as well. And there's always people, when I see you in person, it is arms out, chest open. Arms
10
out, chest
seconds.
open. Free hugs for everyone. Thank you folks for watching, listening, any way that you interact with your boy. You folks are the absolute best. Without you folks, I'm absolutely nothing. Thank you. You folks have a good one until the next show. Peace. Pow, I think we're back. Okay, listen. This is crazy. It was a crazy show. All right, listen. I want to thank everybody for listening, no matter where you're listening to me from. Please give the stream a thumbs up. All right. I'm gonna give you guys excuse me, exclamation point links. All right, that's my link tree for those of you that may not know. Okay, my link tree has the links to all of my social media platforms. Also has the links to all of my YouTube pages. Reactions are coming. I apologize, y'all. We're gonna get those uploaded very soon. I'm sorry. We're gonna get those. Yeah, I was on my bust around. I had to get on my flip mode squad. You know what I'm saying? I got on my Twister. You know, I'll make you a celebrity overnight. You know what I mean? So, you know, I had to do my thing there. Listen, this is a 2-hour show for those of y'all that are new, okay? It's a 2-hour show. I start my shows at 7 p.m. Eastern. Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so when I post content, you will be in the know, all right? Everybody knows that my shows are on different days because my schedule is wild, okay? So if you subscribe, again, if you follow me across all of my social media platforms, which is in the chat, it is also in the description of this video as well, you will be notified hours before I go live that I'm going live. I also put it on the community wall, my YouTube as well, so you'll be notified that way, okay? So we start at 7 p.m. Eastern. Keep in mind, okay, I'm going to put this out there, okay? The show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, but the lines to my show open before 7 p.m. Eastern. They open, from my knowledge, from what I know, the phone lines to the show, this number right here, okay, that opens at 6:50 from what I know, okay? There are people that somebody told me that it opens before that. They told you to stop saying that, Joe. It opens before that. And the reason why they know that is because they call in before the show starts, okay? I'm not going to tell you who does this. It's Rusty and Val. I'm not saying who it is. It's Rusty and Val, okay, that's doing it. But I'm not saying, who's doing it. Again, it's not illegal. I love when y'all do that because, again, I want to have that conversation. Keep in mind, the show starts at 7 p.m. Eastern. So they'll call in early. They'll wait on the line. The show will start. I usually talk for like maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how much information. As y'all heard, we had a lot to go over tonight. About 10 minutes of me discussing it. And I want to go straight to the lines. That's why I push through all of this, because I can talk all day about this football team. I do. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear from my listeners. I want to hear from my fellow Jets brothers and sisters. That's why I do this show, is to hear from you. I want to discuss the Jets with you. That's why I do this, okay? Now, keep in mind, this is YouTube. In our discussions, right, there's really only 2 rules to my show. One of them, do not call into my show cursing. Don't do that. Not on my show. Don't do that, okay? This is YouTube. This platform is very sensitive. I love YouTube, okay? Do not call into my show cursing. This is YouTube. Also, this is a family show, okay? We have young people and old people that listen to me. Respect them. As y'all see in the chat, okay? Outlaw says definition of character assassination. No proof. He says, no proof provided. He said I'm defamating his character, which is not true. Rusty then follows up and says, all allegations, Joe. Wow. Everyone that thinks that I'm making this up and that I am defaming these people's character, okay, by telling you what's happening in the reality, they're not telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, okay? I would never defame anyone's character, all right? It's not illegal for you to call in before the show starts, okay? It's not illegal. I put it out there so that everyone knows that you could do it because everybody should know. I'm giving everybody a fair break. But keep in mind, when you call in, I'll get to you. Trust. My hold times are not long, okay? I get to everybody. Yeah, so don't curse on my show because I'll get you up out of here. Savages know. Listen, if you do it once, depending on how I'm feeling, honestly, if it's bad, I'm just gonna get you up out of here. Y'all, they know. I've hung up on multiple people that I'll get you up out of here. I'm not playing those games, okay? But some people, hey, I give them a warning. Hey, don't stop. Don't curse, but you got some good takes. Let's keep going, especially if you really cooking. I understand because we having that conversation. I'm y'all friend. Let's have a conversation, but you can't do that here. Also, don't try to yell over me, okay? I don't like that. We're having a conversation. As y'all heard tonight, I give people more than enough time to talk. Trust me. You'll talk way more than me, and I'll let you have the last word every time because I want to have that discussion with you. So those are the only two rules. Don't do that on my show, especially cursing. Do not call in here cursing because I'm telling you, I will get you up out of here. People have seen it, okay? That's it. But I know, again, I don't have to say this. My audience is my listeners, the people that check it. Y'all are so intelligent. Like, I don't have to worry about that. But I always have to put that out there just to let people know, okay? Another thing is when you call in, be patient. I get to everybody very quickly. My phones, my wait times are not long. Keep in mind, I can see you. I have a queue system. So when you call in, I can physically see you. Do not call in and hang up and call in and hang up and call in and hang up because that's going to put you at the bottom of the queue. And I'll never get to you. Just call in, wait, again, And again, when you call in, you can, as y'all heard tonight, some people put me on their TV. Some people put me, and they're just listening. Trust. Please mute your background noise and let's have the conversation. That's the only thing that's going on here. Also, when you call in, make sure that your phone lines are good to go. I need to be able to hear you. Please make sure you have a good phone connection, all right? Don't call me from a phone that you found in a Home Depot dumpster, okay? Call me from a good line so I can be able to hear you. Because if I can't hear you and my audience can't hear you, what can I do? So cut the background noise. Some people call me, from work. I love that. You out there getting on your grind and you getting your money. I respect it. Do your thing. But you on your jackhammer at work, put the jackhammer down, go down the street, call me, talk to me, then go back and get on the jackhammer after we're done having our conversation, all right? Because I need to be able to hear you. If I cannot hear you and my audience can't hear you, we can't hear your takes, all right? All right, so those are the rules there, man, and we have a lot of fun. I'll let y'all know when the next show is. I think the next show is going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, but I'll let y'all know. Yeah, we have a blast. We have a lot of fun here. Do a lot of great things, and we really get it in. We really get it in. So please, 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 join in and subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And again, my shows are on different days. My schedule is crazy. It's sporadic. Don't worry, okay? But again, join your boys, subscribe if you haven't already, and get involved. What else did I have to say after that? Yeah, we have a lot of fun over here. We also play games from time to time. I'll get back to that. We had a gaming stream a week or two ago. We played some GTA. We're going to play all kinds of things. Maybe we'll play more GTA. We're also going to play other games as well. I'll play fighting games. Man, I was really thinking about getting into NBA 2K further, but that game sucks. 2K24 is horrible. I don't know if any of y'all play that. That game is... Bro, it is really not fun. Like, it's not fun at all. It's really not fun. It's just like pay to play. But that game sucks. So whatever. But I'm more of a fighting game guy. I play a lot of Street Fighter. We've played that here. I was destroying people. Street Fighter 6 to this point, I'm not really interested in because they don't have the character that I want in it. But when they do get the character that I want in it, we'll be playing that. But we're going to play all kind of stuff, beat 'em ups, all kinds of stuff. So we'll be playing that. I'll let y'all know when we're going to have more gaming streams. But again, my schedule's wild. And again, please check out my reaction stream or my reaction channel. It's on there too in the description because we have a lot of fun doing that. So, yeah. So we do a lot of stuff over here and we have a blast. Venom G says that is garbage. It is. It's garbage. NBA 2K24 is garbage. That game is terrible. And it was so crazy. I'm a Laker fan. Everybody, if you don't know, now you know. I've said it 1,000 times, though. And to have Kobe Bryant on that cover and have this game be that bad, that's awful. It's just awful. And honestly, I bought the game because of Kobe, because he was on the cover. And I was like, oh, yeah, they gonna definitely, do it right this year, Of course, I've played 2K before a bit in the past, but it wasn't like religiously or anything like that. I didn't, I was just, played with my friends once or twice. I was like, oh, okay, this year, you know what? Street Fighter 6 not really popping right now. Listen, for me, okay? I'm not saying it's not popping for other people. Some people love it because it has the character that they want. All right, I'll wait for Street Fighter 6 to, get Hugo or Birdie in there or somebody I want. Let me play some 2K. Garbage. That game is garbage. It's literally pay to play. That's literally what it is. There's no reward for anything. I could go on for hours. That game sucks. It sucks. And this is a guy that is really trying to invest time. It's a waste of time. And I want it to be a my career guy. I'm trying to grind, and I'm like, this is not even worth it. The storyline there isn't even a storyline. It's trash. It's trash. And Kobe is on the cover. That's insanity. That's insanity, man. That's insanity. Outlaw says Kobe Bryant is my favorite player of all time, but I feel bad. It is better than last year's game, but not much to say. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. It's wild. But so that's my thought on 2K, but we'll be playing like other games as well. GTA is one that I really enjoy. We'll see. We're going to be playing like Streets of Rage, all kind of other stuff, okay? I got beat 'em ups. I have a lot of fun. So we'll get to that when my schedule allows, okay? And we'll get back to gaming, all right? So, yeah. But NBA 2K sucks, all right? That sucks. That game is awful. So we do that here, and we have a lot of fun. Also, we do live watch-alongs as well. During the season, when the Jets are playing, we watch games together. I might be checking in with y'all. We might watch the Super Bowl together. I know that y'all were screaming for me to watch the Super Bowl with y'all. We might be doing that if my schedule pans out, but I'll let y'all know when that time rolls around, okay? I wanted to watch the playoffs with y'all, but I couldn't do that because my schedule just, okay? But we do watch live games together. We have a lot of fun. Not always Jets games, but mostly Jets games during the season. And then, so during the season, we watch games together, Jets games, and then we have a live radio show after the game. And those are crazy. Those are crazy, okay? Those are crazy. But, we don't curse, but they have been very, very hot, I will say. Those shows had a lot of fire in them, all right? So you can call in, and we do that as well, so we have a lot of fun after game reaction shows. So please get involved with the channel any way that you can. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and give the stream a thumbs up too. All right. There's content that's going to be coming again. I apologize. My reaction channel. We'll get back to pumping content over there as well. I'll get some reactions out there for y'all. We're going to have a lot of fun, man. We're going to continue this. I think the next show we're going to do is Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, but I'll let y'all know. All right? And again, call in. Show the line. It's all free. There were some people saying that they had a problem calling in with the show. Check your phone, whoever your phone company is. You have to talk to them about that. But there was a guy, I don't know, I don't remember who it was, that was saying that they were having an issue that their phone couldn't dial into the show. This is not a toll number at all. You can call in and we have a lot of fun. So you can also use, I think some people use Skype as well. So you can call in from Skype too. I don't know how that works, but you can call in using Skype too. And I accept it all. We have a lot of fun. But just again, please make sure you have a stable line so I can hear you. All right. So yeah, we do that and we have a blast. Oh, also, hey man, I don't care what your take is, even if I don't agree with it. Y'all heard tonight, there's a bunch of takes that I don't agree with. Okay. I'll hear you out. All right. Now keep in mind, you need to be able to defend your take. Okay. Because I'm going to ask you questions because that's what this show is. That's what this show is. This show is a show about, it's a sports show about the Jets, and we ask questions. And I want you to clarify. But don't think that you're going to get attacked or anything crazy up here. I had a person that I was speaking to, and they're like, Joe, man, I love listening to your show. I love what you do, man. Love your content, but I'm so scared to call in. Why? It's just, you're just going to be talking in front of a couple, 100 people. People that listen to the show after too. That's all. But it's not scary, man. I want to hear from everybody. Okay, so I want to hear from you. No matter how wild I think your take is, I want to hear from you. All right, and I want to listen. But I will ask questions. I will ask questions because that's what I do. And I also give different perspectives. But I want to hear different perspectives. There's a lot of people that definitely, changed my mind or put me in a mode where I was like, okay, I can see what you're talking about. I want to hear your perspective and hear where you're coming from. So please, don't be scared to call in. Okay. I don't destroy people. Okay. All right. So we have a lot of fun. Get involved. Yeah, man. Follow your boy across all my social media. And, talk to me. I'll talk back. All right. But keep in mind, I'm one man. Okay. I'm not going to say that. I'm one man. Okay. I get to everybody. Trust me. But I'm one man. Okay. Also when you call in, please know what your area code is. Because if I don't know you by name, I'm gonna call you out by area code. I'm never gonna say who it was unless they go there. But there's a person that didn't know their area code, and they were like, "Oh, Joe, you never pick up when I call." I said, "What do you talk? Do you call from this place?" "Oh yeah, that's where I'm at." I said, "This is your area code, isn't it?" I think so. Yes, it's your area code. That's where you're calling from. This is the rest of your number. Oh yeah. Okay, then that's your area code. So you don't pick up when I say your area code. Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah. So please know what your area code is. All right. You can Google that. You can literally look at your phone and know what your number and area code is. All right. I'm never gonna say who it was, but you know who you are. All right. It was a long argument. Okay. It was an argument. That person really thought that I was like, you blocked me. You keep me from. No, I don't. I say your area code and you didn't pick up. Oh, okay. So, Venom G says, I get to everyone is crazy. Yo, I mean, that's not pause worthy. We could pause, but I get to everybody. All right. You could pause it. It's not really pausable. It's not pausable, but there's something else you can say. It's crazy. So yeah, we have a lot of fun. All right. And I make sure I answer everyone's phone call. So yeah, he says Venom G says you have to do a reaction to MMA Sports Show. Okay. I'll look into that. I'll look into that too. I got content coming, man. But again, my schedule is wild, but again, we'll get to it. I'm pushing it with these shows, but I love doing this and I'm able to squeeze it in. So let's go. You can pause that. Okay. Anywho, yeah, so we have a lot of fun. Join. If you see me gaming, come in, talk to your boy. I'll talk back. We talk about life, all kinds of things. We got more content coming. We're going to have a blast. Mac salutes. Mac says, if you, this is from Mac. Mac says, if you do not know the area code, you are very much stupid. I'm not going to say the rest because this is YouTube, but look, everyone's different. I had an argument with the person that really thought that I was like, you're trying to keep me from, look, please just know what your area code is. But the person was kind of apologetic, but they were like, oh, okay. Please know what your area code is, though. Okay. Salutes and respect to Mac. I respect everybody. All right. So that's that. Listen, we're going to have a lot of fun. I think Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern is the next show, but I'll let y'all know for sure. So if you don't see your boy, it is what it is. But I'll let y'all know for sure when I put out my announcements. Follow me across all my social media. Give the stream a thumbs up, okay? I want to thank everybody for joining me. Max, salutes. Always good to see you in the building. Vilnum G, salutes and respect to you. Outlaw, salutes, okay? I want to thank everybody, man, for joining your boy. Saying what's up to me, coming in. Rusty, salutes and respect to you as well. Vilnum G says W stream. Thank you so much. Salutes and respect to everybody, man. Yeah, I had to get my Busta Rhymes on, man. I had to start, I had to pick up the pace, you know what I'm saying, in the show. They be hating on your boy. This is a 2-hour show. Keep in mind, folks, it's 2 hours, okay? 2-hour show. All right, so Blog Talk be hating. Bree, always good to see you in the building, man. Salutes and respect. And again, salutes and respect to all my overseas guys. You and Captain K, man, salutes to both of y'all and respect to both of y'all. I want to thank y'all for joining me. Lil Balloon, always good to see you in the building as well. Salutes and respect. Keep doing what you do, Lil Balloon. Jaleese is a wild one, boy. GVH, salutes and respect to you as well, man. Always good to see you in here. Orlando C, Dakota, always good to see you. Salutes and respect to you as well, Dakota. Thank you for your support and everything you do. And again, Captain K, man. Always good to see y'all in the building. I got to get out of here because my schedule is wild. Listen, be safe, folks. Be safe. The world is crazy, and I don't know what is going on, but it's getting crazier and crazier by the day. Sit down with your friends and your family, eat some good food, watch some good TV. Make some moments, man, okay? Make the moments with the people that you love the most because you never know what can happen, man. You never know. It's important to me in my life. Hope it's important to you and yours, all right? So I'm going to get on up out of here. I'll see y'all on the next show. You folks have a good one. Peace.